Yo, you tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Yo, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Gorilla Cross Radio. Streaming live on GorillaCross.com and the Gorilla Cross app. Make sure you download the app for free. Can't be free right here. We are here live from downtown Las Vegas in the Gorilla Cross studio, and we have a lot of sports to talk about. The NFL playoffs happened and still happening, so we're going to give our picks for the rest of the playoffs and give our feedback on what happened this weekend, because a lot of stuff happened, some upsets, some unknowns, some older guys. The quarterbacks we loved forever and hated forever are out of the playoffs already, so we're going to talk about that. A lot of NBA action going on. Had a block party yesterday.
What's the gate code for Kareem?
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead and get him.
All right, got it.
Travesty.
I don't understand. We've been here for a month. They don't know the gate code. Wow. But you asked me for it, too, and you're here for 2 shows a week, so.
Well, most of the time I haven't even been here where the gate wasn't open.
Okay.
I've only used the gate code one time.
Well, I think Chris must open it up for you
That's possible.
on Tuesdays. But anyways, we are here live. If you guys want to call in, hit us up, 702-608-3259. We're going to talk about some coach firings and hirings. Cream is in the bit. This is almost on time for him. For him, it is on time.
It's the most on time he's ever
All
been.
that, Kareem's not even here. He just was asking.
Wow.
Send it in the group chat.
So he's still not
Yeah,
on
why
time.
don't you just send it in there?
I don't know it. Someone else has to write it out.
Man.
If I knew it, I would have wrote it out myself.
Oh, my goodness.
So, Dave, how are you feeling today, Dave? How are you feeling, Dave?
I'm not feeling great.
These guys annoy me.
Not feeling great.
All of you guys annoy me.
Hey,
me? What
that's
did
all
I
right.
do?
I'm going to make sure
You're
to put
Dave.
it in
You're
the. You're just an annoying person.
Oh, I really am, too. I know how to hit those spots.
Oh,
God!
whoa.
Whoa!
Evidently, that's what he said.
In the light and in the dark.
Hey.
What going with quirky party is a quirky.
I haven't heard Quirky Party in quite some
And
time.
we have trivia tonight.
Yes!
Oh, okay, all right.
That'll
We
bring
have
me
trivia.
out of it.
We haven't had trivia for a long time, so
It
we
has
do
been
have
a
trivia
while.
tonight.
I don't even know if I'm good at trivia anymore.
Probably not, Dave.
I probably still am.
Listen,
Dave,
if you're
you're
watching on the live feed, please share it, the live video. And if you are not watching on the live feed, you're listening, so share the live feed anyways. And we are here. If you guys haven't checked out Gorilla Cross, we are updating it almost daily.
Yeah,
We're getting there. I mean, it's a slow burn.
daily-ish.
But we've had some original articles
Did you,
by Josh and Cream. So
did you read my post when I was like, check in for your daily kind of news, sports news?
wow.
You know, sometimes maybe you'll get, you know,
I feel
breaking
like Dave
stories.
would have some good articles. I feel like he'd be like the Bill Simmons of,
You guys
of Gorilla Cross
don't hit me
Radio.
like that, but I mean,
Bill Simmons is a good writer.
let me. How would we know? Man, he ain't written anything in like 4 years.
Well, we saw a lot of stuff.
Hey,
before that.
he wrote a lot. He wrote a lot to get to this point where he don't got to write no more.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. But
he wrote a lot of articles
Come on.
to get there.
man, all I know is I would be happy to.
There you go.
Now, just writing like snippets of what happened for me, I really look up to the people on ESPN on different sites that have like paragraphs and paragraphs. Because I'll write 2 paragraphs and I felt like I wrote a whole essay, and then I look, I'm like, this is a really small article. I better add another picture. But so I thank you guys for helping out because I don't have the patience to be a good writer.
I struggle with with writing very quick. Like it would be very hard for me to write like little blurbs and be like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm in and I'm out. Like for this past weekend, I probably could do something quick, and then I was thinking about doing something just in terms of like the McCarthy hire and just like little stuff, and just post a link.
Could
And
you do
that'll
little
be-
blurbs like Larry King used to do? Larry King, not Larry King, Mike McCarthy. I like it.
I like it. So if anybody is interested in writing for a sports and hip-hop website, hit us up. Quan at gorillacross.com. My name's on there. The name's on there.
Not
pretty
hard.
easy.
It's pretty
Pretty
easy
easy.
to figure out.
It's easy to figure out. So a lot happening in the NFL and in the NBA and in other sports. So you can check out Josh's article on that to see what is happening in other sports that we don't talk about here. Josh will push that.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to force those.
I'm gonna start putting the tennis out there. The
Listen,
tennis
this
is
dude
getting
had a
shot.
tennis segment on the article. I'm
That's
like,
right.
it's not even tennis season.
It is. It's coming.
It's around the corner. Australian Open
2 weeks.
is right around the corner. So we will talk about that in June when all the other Grand Slams happen. But Dave, man, it's been since last year.
Oh God, I hate when people. It's been a year since
See you
I've
next
seen you.
year. Haven't seen you
Yeah, I'll
since the
see you
last
tomorrow.
decade.
I'll see it.
But
right.
yeah, I mean, we haven't seen you on the sports show in 3 weeks at least.
It's been like a
Yeah,
month.
it's before Christmas, so it's.
And we have a
been
story
while.
about these coasters that we will talk about when Cream. Well, I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
Got it. Anyway, yeah, it's been a while.
We just got some new coasters.
I see them, but now I'm intrigued
I'm a-
by.
I'm
Now,
there's
the
a
question
story
is,
behind it.
I have
Has he seen
bartender
them?
friends.
Yes. Has he used them yet? Nope.
Oh,
Josh would never use a coaster.
it's a water bottle.
It's still.
Why can't you use a coaster for a water bottle?
Well, and
I
I kill my water. My water usually is gone.
So
It doesn't-
what?
There's nothing
Show
in it
some
now.
respect.
Still allowed to use the
Respect the
coaster.
wood.
Still allowed to use the
respect
killing
my
me.
wood. Is that what you want? All right.
Yeah, well, it's not even mine.
There you go.
Come on,
Just be respectful.
Sorry. It's yeah. I didn't grow up with the coaster situation really. We just had furniture. So we just kind of just
Well, not all of us grew up in rich families.
No, this was before the money. this
was pre-financial stability.
This was townhouse. This was just we were good. We
Okay.
took trips as family. That was it.
All right. How was your weekend, Josh?
It was
Anything interesting?
It was good. It was good. We had a good time at the Fortress Invitational. Shout out to BD Sports Global. It was a great weekend of NFL action, and now excited for the CES show to be here in town and find out a few of the new sport innovations.
All right. So that was nice. Dave, anything interesting for your weekend?
Oh, my weekend was horrible. Thanks for asking.
All right.
Back to you, Quan.
I hated the NFL as I usually do.
Oh, why did you?
I
Dave,
hated it extra?
you can't hate it because at the beginning of the season you predicted your team winning 4 games, I believe.
4.
Was it 4?
4.
It was low. You
Sounds
went
accurate.
very. You said they were one of the worst teams in the league.
I thought they would be. Their
And-
defense showed up. If
and
it
they
wasn't for that
made the
defense,
playoffs.
they would have. They probably would have had like
So
4 wins.
we're gonna get into Josh Allen in a little bit in
All right.
about a minute and a half because
Oh, please.
the
Let's.
pregame should have been aired live for our show.
Oh no, I saved it.
Dave saved it, but me and Josh did.
I don't.
I can recreate it.
Yeah, it's
I can
hard for me to
my hate
recreate.
for you. I'll make you recreate it with my hate.
Yeah, you got fired up. You got like
Oh.
fired up like I get fired up.
Quan gets fired up with me.
No, I just want you to listen.
You have that
because
ability, Josh.
You
I don't
took it-
know why. I try to stay calm, and I'll be
Because
calm, and everybody else be like, "Brr." I'm like,
Because-
I
You know
feel
why?
like
It's
I'm not
you're
there.
like you're like the Black Eddie Haskell.
Oh gosh,
Give me something better than that.
No.
Like, nothing.
that's it.
Oh, that's tragic. That's sad. If that's the effect I have on people, and that's not good.
You're like if Steve Urkel and Stefan Urkel were just like one person.
One person?
Yeah, that's it.
I can take
Wow.
that. I can take that.
Without the baggy ass eyes. Man, that dude looked like he needed some sleep at all times.
Oh man, no, that was just his eyes.
Wow.
That was just an unfortunate situation. He had a lot of extra skin.
Remember
Lot of
when he
loose
made
skin.
that song?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Oh, anyway, Josh Allen's garbage.
Listen, Dave's been telling us all year, so we're going to go ahead and jump into the NFL in this week's playoffs. Really good games. Honestly, every game was a good game, except the last to me wasn't. Seattle and Philly wasn't really a good game.
But there was a reason
it was
for
close.
that.
It was a close game.
I
still.
mean, if Carson Wentz is healthy, that's a very different game.
Oh my gosh.
And he should have been healthy. And the fact, we'll get into that in a minute. Actually, let's jump into this game first to get it out of the way.
Yeah,
last game
I can
first.
save it.
Last
I'll
game
stew.
first.
Seeing Marshawn Lynch back has been dope. I think they should give him the ball a little more, but that's, I think that'll come in time.
I think they should create more holes. He ain't
Yeah.
got nowhere to run.
Yeah. But they're a very banged up team themselves.
Yeah.
But compared to Philly, they have a full all-star cast because Philly, they're using people that work in the grocery store.
Seriously.
They just got off work and went straight to the game.
Yeah.
Philly's.
Hold on. Can I get off my shift early?
I got a playoff game to go to.
Family emergency. And then they get
Don't
fired
watch
when
TV.
they
Don't watch the Eagles
TV.
game.
Don't watch the game. Don't watch the game tonight. It's
But-
gonna be a rough one.
That Carson Wentz hit, I want to talk about that real quick because the way they've dealt with these hits in recent years, I've seen people do this to a helmet on a quarterback,
We'll do it again.
do this, and that's been called a penalty.
Yeah.
We've seen them grab
It's
them
person by
and they
person.
maybe hit their face masks together, and that's been called a penalty. This was, and I'm not saying it was a dirty hit, but
It was on the line.
He
It was
was
on the
going
line.
with his helmet.
Yeah.
He hit him in the back of the head with his helmet, and
I think the helmet part was inadvertent. The way he came down on the ground for modern football is dirty. I don't know
That's
that
a
it was
penalty,
a dirty.
though. But
That's
it's
a penalty in this day and age, but I don't know that it was a dirty hit.
I can't remember where was Carson Wentz. Was he above the line of scrimmage or was he still in the pocket? I know he was scrambling.
I don't know that.
That's the real question, because if he was above the line of scrimmage, he technically is a football player. Now I know that they're
But
going
it's
to
still
always
helmet to helmet, no matter if he was a quarterback or not. And the fact
But
that he is a quarterback that they're supposed to protect
It's the way,
more.
but I'm saying it's the way they come down. But it's all certain quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz is a big dude. He almost got more like the Cam Newton treatment there. That's why
Yeah.
Cam Newton's so banged up, because Cam Newton doesn't get any of those.
well,
calls.
I mean,
No.
if it was Tom Brady, Clowney would have got suspended for a year.
Well,
No.
let's not exaggerate
allegedly.
that much.
Allegedly.
I mean, it definitely would have been a penalty. and
It probably would have been looked at more. I would say they haven't really. If you really in all the games, how many how many personal fouls have you seen for roughing the passer? I can't really recall
In the
more
playoffs?
this year. I can't really recall
Oh.
more than one. I don't
No.
even. Has there even been one?
you mean in the playoffs or the
Yeah.
regular season?
In the
in the
playoffs.
Oh, the
no,
playoffs? No, the
They
playoffs
haven't
they
really
were
called anything. So like, you know what I mean? Like they're
But also
they're
look
letting
at-
them play a little bit
Look at
too.
who some of the quarterbacks are. I mean, I won't get into the Bills too much yet, but Josh Allen has to be rolling around out of the pocket.
Yeah.
So you're not getting those
He's
calls
not gonna
there.
get as
Plus,
many.
he's a gigantic
Big
dude.
guy too. Yeah.
Deshaun Watson is very mobile, so he's avoiding some of those hits that some other quarterbacks have to take.
Well, yeah,
Brady,
we'll talk about
Brady
that game
knows,
because he got
Brady
hit
knows how
twice.
to, Brady knows how to get rid of the ball. You know, that's something. Tannehill got a lot of protection. They're built on running.
Yeah.
You know, Carson Wentz
action.
got hurt with
action.
the one hit.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson's elusive. Breeze is getting the ball out quick.
True.
And Kirk Cousins, I mean, once again,
Gets
they
the
were
ball
leaning
out
on,
quick, too.
and he gets the ball out quick, and then
Yeah.
leaned on the run game. I mean, there
Not
were
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
opportunities.
opportunities for people to get shelled.
Yeah.
Now seeing, but and even seeing that play, we didn't even know it happened. The commentary didn't even know it happened, or
Yeah.
commentators didn't know until they saw him like walking to the back, and then they're like, "Wait, we just saw him come out of the tent." They didn't even know he was in the tent, and then he's walking to the locker room, and they're like, "Uh-oh, this isn't good."
Yeah.
And their backup is Josh McCown, who's 40 years old, And he's not a Drew Brees, Tom Brady 40.
McCown is still in the league, is all I'm saying. There was a lot of McCowns.
I don't know, man. I
He's the
saw
last
that dude. I saw a video of that dude like dunking on people in a off-season
Really?
basketball charity game.
At 40?
Yeah.
That's still pretty good. Some people are built a little different.
Yeah, being a professional
Had a heart attack, bro.
Had a hiccup.
Being a professional athlete helps a lot.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Definitely. But honestly, for him to get thrown in the game like that, he played well. You can't ask anything more for him.
Well, also remember, what are their weapons right now?
They have
their
nothing.
weapons are like nothing.
They have no receivers.
I mean, Zach Ertz was back, but banged up. Their receivers are garbage.
Well,
they have no running game.
And even Zach Ertz being back, I know we talked about it in the group. Slight chance of a relaceration of your.
Any chance is too much of a chance for me.
so for him to even come back, I know he's trying to help the team and he wants to be there, but
I wish some of this would shut up. The last few games, I wish it would shut up some of the Carson Wentz hate. I don't really understand it. I think Carson Wentz is a very good quarterback. He would have an MVP if he didn't get hurt a couple years ago.
Yes.
And
Tom Brady would not have had that one. That one
absolutely not.
Yeah.
But all I know is Carson Wentz is good. Carson Wentz got them to the playoffs because that team, with all those injuries, missing Lane Johnson, every receiver, tight end, skill position of all types and sorts, there is no reason that team should have been in the playoffs.
And then to the people calling him an injury-prone quarterback, let somebody like Clowney slam you in the back of the head with his head.
That's true.
Anybody's going to get hurt with that.
Let Clowney high-five me, and I might be on the IR.
You know?
But I will say one thing about Carson Wentz though. I think as they continue to move away from some of that Super Bowl core, I think as they add new players, he is more of a leader of those guys versus being a leader of the team that won a Super Bowl. Because the team that won a Super Bowl, I think a lot of those guys still have allegiance to, to Foles, even though he's not there anymore.
I don't know that that's true. I think they had full allegiance to Carson Wentz.
There was talk over the summer that a lot of the players
still like they still felt as if they should have kept.
But at the
Foles.
same time, that's unprofessional as a player if you're still feeling that way.
Yeah.
Knowing that he's gone now. First of all, he's not doing good where he was. So
he's on a whole new team.
You have to just like wipe that away and be like, cool, we wanted to keep him. Now that he's not here, you have to have your allegiance to the quarterback that's playing
throwing
right
you.
now.
That's actually throwing you the ball.
Well, also
and Cream is in the building. Everyone give a huge shout out.
With a hat, I like it. That's nice.
That was the wrong button.
Just run through all of them.
I don't even know where you're sitting at.
Oh no, his
There
mic
you go.
is not on.
Yeah, we're good.
There
There it is.
I feel like every single one of those sound effects pretty much applies. Yeah.
Everyone.
So right
it all
now.
works. It all works. Yeah.
How are you doing today, Kareem?
Finally had a day of sleep, but
Good.
I mean
That's
like
good.
a day of sleep. Woof.
Listen, man, that stuff is needed.
Yeah.
Cream,
Sleep is needed for humans.
Cream, you had your first media experience over the weekend. How did you feel about the Fortress Invitational?
Second.
Oh, who's your first?
The one you left him at.
Also
didn't go get him.
also with you.
Oh, my bad.
Kentucky and
My bad. The
Utah.
basketball one. The Kentucky. The Kentucky.
That's right.
Game.
That's
My
right.
fault. My fault.
It was fun, man. It was those hockey kids, man. They get after it just like the pros, man. They bang him in the boards just like everybody else.
Yep.
But then you look at him and you're like, that's like my nephew. Like that dude's 13. How is this possible? He's
And
just got
the speed is
got his
way
first
different in
pimple.
college.
It is.
Yeah.
It
The
is.
speed is way different.
yeah.
The movement is different.
But guess what? Those moves still work because Ohio State's goalie was under a barrage.
He had a rough night.
Cornell put in that work.
Listen, Ohio State Cornell game is only going to be a Cornell win in hockey and maybe lacrosse.
And maybe lacrosse.
That's about it.
Yeah. Actually, it'd probably be worse than lacrosse.
Like
Ohio
I said,
State lacrosse. Yeesh.
Cornell would not want to see. And I think it was somebody in the stands were saying, "You don't want to see our football teams." and I was like, "Yeah, I don't think that their intramural
I was like,
football
yeah,
team
I don't want to
from
see
Ohio
Cornell.
State."
I don't want to see Cornell's football team either.
Or
I don't think.
or Christopher Walken.
Could you imagine Cornell having people line up against Chase Young?
No. The intramural. The intramural team from Ohio State could still be Cornell.
Cornell plays Gorman, I think, right?
Can you imagine their team lining up against Urban Meyer? Like, I don't think they could. I don't think they could beat him.
Who knows? Does he have a heart condition this week?
Yeah. You know.
Depends.
You never know. That comes and goes, man.
That
Depends on
heart-
how
like
close
those
the NCAA
allegations.
is.
Oh no, wait, those allegations, they always stay.
They always stick.
No, not when he leaves.
Just not to him.
Yeah, I was about to
No,
say he
never.
leaves.
Yeah, he's
he's
like-
Teflon Don.
Yep.
He knows exactly when to leave. Like that temperature is getting a little too warm.
He always brings in the most upstanding citizens.
Once again, if you guys want to chime in with us, hit us up 702-608-3259. If you have a question or just a sports comment, hit us up. If you're watching live, please share the live feed. And once again, if you are live in the studio, please share the live feed.
Urban
We
Meyer.
appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Urban Meyer. That's just ugh.
And we will be having a special Unnamed Sports Show on championship weekend night, which is a Sunday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, what weekend is that?
Well,
The weekend after next weekend.
I might be in.
Oh,
might
we'll
in
be here.
Cali. All right.
You can call in.
That's fine.
you know what? You should.
Or you can't. I mean, whatever.
You should be in Cali. There should be a really good party going on there.
What's going on in Cali?
They're having,
Oh God.
Anything else you want to talk about?
In San Francisco.
Oh, I didn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I saw where he was going.
No,
That's
I
why
saw
he had too much of a wry smile. I knew the trap was set.
First of all, I wasn't exactly being really undercover there. Like I was
No.
laying it on pretty thick.
But your smile is sitting there like, go ahead and walk
And
into
I'm not
this
sure
poop.
if you get a water cream, make sure you use these new coasters we got.
Oh, did you get those? Those look really
Yeah, we
familiar.
got them. We paid for them.
Oh, well, yeah.
All right, now what's going on with the coasters?
Yeah, we did.
Did you guys steal coasters? Is that what
No,
happened?
we didn't
Stop
steal
it,
coasters.
Josh.
How would you steal
How would you
coasters,
steal a
Josh?
coaster?
They're paper coasters.
Easily, you take them and they're not
I
yours.
mean, I know you never use coasters until I browbeat you into it a minute ago.
Yeah,
but
yeah, pretty much. But I mean, yeah, you can still steal coasters. If I walk into a bar and they were
Could.
behind the bar and they weren't mine, and I just was like,
Well, you're not
I
going
like these
behind the
coasters.
bar if you know a bartender.
y'all stole the coasters. All right, moving on.
I
I
don't
figured
even
out what the
understand how that could
inside.
happen.
Like,
I feel the inside story.
Shout out
now.
to Josh just being a snitch.
Thank you to Joshy69.
I mean, his name
Just
is
like
coming
you
back.
could not have slowed walked him through that any more carefully.
If,
And
we
he
wanted,
just-
if we wanted to tell the whole story of how we got the coasters, we
I was
probably would have.
I was trying, and you guys didn't. So I just started.
so you decided to
So
tell
you just
America.
threw shots out
That's
there?
cool.
I had to SVU you guys, and that was what it was. I had to start
Hey, officer, they have illegal products over here.
first 48.
It's like, oh, you don't want to answer it? Henry Hill time.
Where's my pizza?
Goodness.
Need a pizza and a
Gosh.
cigarette.
It's all the money we had, Karen.
Gosh, Josh.
That's my favorite.
Oh, to Joshy strikes
Josh
again.
6'9".
Man, you cannot keep anything to yourself, especially not if it's about
Oh
anyone
no,
else.
I
But the
will
thing
fold
is, he
under
would,
questioning.
he would tell on himself. I know he would.
Oh, what?
Officer, I did it. I jaywalked too before I did
It's
it.
like we haven't even started the interrogation, man. We even put the cuffs on
I
yet.
know.
You did what?
I did everything.
Somebody was killed?
I saw the whole thing.
Whoa.
I did it myself.
It's like we
and my car is stolen.
I slapped her twice, and then my registration is dead.
we just came over to ask you why your jersey was so big, and you're already telling us all this stuff. 2003 call the one that is jersey size.
Oh,
man.
He's wearing like a
I already
fathead jersey.
told him. It's yeah. This is
That's like the girl's nightgown.
no.
It's like the Mariah Carey jersey.
This actually has. Never mind.
Yeah. Oh, you can tell on everybody else though, huh? Oh, that's weird.
Oh, Josh,
What happened?
hold
Oh,
on.
all of a sudden in the store you can't
if
tell,
you had
huh?
a girl wear that, I'm sorry, she had to be very large because that thing is gigantic.
She wasn't large. The shirt was large on her.
It wasn't a
That
was
shirt
the
had
point.
to have fallen off, Josh. That thing is gigantic.
shirt's large.
As I said to you earlier, you look like you stepped out of St. Lunatics video talking about Air Force One.
Look how far back the neck is. So if she would have put that
Give
on,
me
they would have
like,
like,
pull it
two pair.
Dude, that thing is pulled back so far you could almost have a hood out of the extra jersey material. What are you doing?
Man, Dave is really trying to flame on right now. Like,
What are you doing?
I mean,
like-
we're about to flame on David a little bit.
it's
so.
all right. It's all
Oh,
right.
don't
Oh,
worry.
you think,
alright.
you think
That's
Dave
just
started
simmer.
now?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Wait till we get to the Bills game.
It's okay.
We might have to
Might have to
switch
bleep-
over to Vegas High
Might have to
Media
bleep
for
a
that.
couple things.
No, you control yourself.
I mean,
is what you do.
I will make sure
You
to not
control
say.
yourself to Joshy.
For real.
I will
But
make
it's
sure-
not about control.
I will make sure to not say half of the things that I said on our group message
yeah.
the other night
Don't
after
do
that
please.
game.
Yeah.
Because I said a few things that
Did you?
definitely could not be. Yes, said a couple things definitely could not come on the air.
You were quiet. You were quiet all weekend. I was kind of upset about that, and then
you
you
were
finally
too
popped
quiet.
in.
And then when you came in,
What,
you know what I
I
do
hate
now?
about the group chat
A
is
little
the
too
group chat's super quiet, and we'll try to all like comment to get it going. Nobody really responds. When Dave comes in, all of a sudden like 25 missed messages in 2 minutes, and everyone's going back and forth.
That's because I don't turn the notifications on anymore.
You're a
I just
trendsetter.
come in when I'm heated up.
Wow.
I come in warm. I'm Benny Johnson on the microwave.
He doesn't even know what landmine he's jumping in on.
Nope.
He just jumps in.
I don't even know.
Anyways, before Cream walked in super late, we were talking about Philly and Seattle.
Called for.
I mean, they saw it on TV.
I mean,
It was on TV, Josh.
we did start at 8:30 today, though. We
8:32.
started like 8:32. So
8:32.
that's
80-30?
at 80:30.
80-30.
80:30.
We starting at Kobe Magic, old school Kobe Magic, maybe Kobe Magic,
or OJ Simpson. You know.
and I do go 49 and 45s. By the way, just put my cruise control on 49.
Okay.
I'm confused.
Hers?
Oh, my Lord.
Gosh, it was so easy, and they
Yeah,
just
that
don't.
that one sailed on me. I'm sorry. That was a Donovan McNabb pass.
Actually, yes,
Which
they
one?
did.
That one sailed on you? Josh, you're the America's Cup of things sailing on you.
America's Cup.
You're a regatta.
Wow,
Nice.
good job, Dave.
Dave
Knowing way too much
Dave
about
really,
boats
really.
and America Cups.
Regatta.
Seriously, you need a segment on the website, just unnecessary like sports stats or knowledge.
Seriously.
That's all I've got.
That'd be great.
Nothing
got a
I
lot.
have is of any use.
Still
But
great.
there is use.
Still great.
There's use. There's
There's
use.
you. All right, Philly and Seattle. With Seattle barely beating Philly, a banged up Philly that looked like a C squad. Do you see Seattle doing anything else in the playoffs? Because they didn't look great. I thought that should have been a blowout for Seattle.
The thing-
Because of their matchup? Maybe. I'm not
It's
blown away by Green Bay.
True.
It's got nothing to do with the matchup. This is just the way they play. Every single
Ugly.
game is ugly. Listen,
Ugly.
you cannot name one normal Seattle game you've ever watched in your entire life. Never.
I can.
No, you
but
can't. No, you can't.
They
no, you
they,
can't.
They
No, you
do
can't.
they do win because they
wait,
do
let
win.
him name it.
Well, no, I won't name it, but they do win.
Oh,
like,
So you
Is that against your religion
Man,
or something?
but no, there's games.
Here we go.
this
This is, the
season.
part, this is where he picks up his phone and then puts it down like 2 minutes later, like no one ever asked a
Oh
question.
my God!
Anyway,
they haven't won by more than 10 this whole season.
I,
that what you're saying?
listen.
No, they
I
all
said
their
a
almost all their
normal
games.
game. They listen. Put it this way: they went 12-4 and were outscored on the season.
Really?
Yeah,
That's.
I'm just saying
that's-
that this is
that's-
just
your stats are better than mine.
this is just the way they
pretty
play.
Almost
So-
every game they won was a one-score game.
Yeah, so they can barely beat Philly 17-9, and it could be a 35-31 shootout next week. It's just the way it is with them. That was Philly, man, what they did, they deserve a lot of props. Quarterback,
shout out to Philly, man. I mean, for
QB
real.
1 out, RB 1
And
out,
I hope
wide
Desiree
receiver
calls
1, 2,
today so we
3
can give her
out.
some props.
Tight end 1.
No, I don't want
playing
it.
with a lacerated spleen,
Yeah.
which he realized that very first pass he got, put his arms up to catch it. He said,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, none.
Nope.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's my spleen."
All right,
Spleen.
so they beat Arizona by 17. They beat
Arizona.
but a lot of their games. You're right. A lot of their games they beat the Bengals week 1 by 1.
By 1. And
They
should've
beat
lost that game.
Pittsburgh week 2 by 2.
with no Roethlisberger.
Yeah, they beat. Then they lost to the Saints, and then they beat Arizona by
They
17.
lost to the Saints with no Drew Brees.
No.
Yes.
Drew was there, right? That was only
No.
week 3.
Let me think. No,
No.
wasn't
Drew
there?
Brees wasn't there.
Teddy was
Wow.
He got hurt week 2
Fair
against
enough.
the Rams.
Okay, I'll hear you out on that. They beat the Rams by 1. They beat the Browns by 4.
there. I
They
feel like
lost
this
to
is
the
all the
Ravens.
stuff we already said.
No. I mean, you're right. You're right. I'm just backing up your assertion.
You didn't
No.
have to back it up, though. It was already right.
Yeah. No. You're.
He already had
He backed it
backup
up for the
in me.
people.
I backed
For
it
the
up for me.
people-
They had
for the-
one game.
and for the
They
people
had
that don't
one
know.
game. So
Against Arizona, who's not a good team.
yeah.
And that was at the beginning
And
of
that
the
was the
season
beginning
because
when Kyler
the
Murray
second
was
game they
trash.
played a lot better.
Yeah.
Arizona
The
did.
Arizona came back and beat him the second game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they beat them 27-13.
And if
they
I
flipped it.
and if I remember correctly in that game, it was like they beat him by 17, but they might have had like 500 yards or something, like something where it looked like they could have had 50 points.
Well,
But
they
scored
also
27.
they also threw the scent off of Cincinnati being pure trash for weeks.
Yeah.
By just the fact that Cincinnati was right there in game
Cincinnati
one.
should have beat them. Yeah.
Yeah, they should have.
And that was at home, wasn't it?
At home.
Yeah.
That was at home.
That was crazy.
That was in.
That was
They lost
that was in
three
Seattle.
games at home, right?
4, I think. Wait, did they finished 12-4 or 11-5?
11-5. They
lost
lost. They
games at
lost.
home.
4 games at home.
They lost New Orleans at home. They
Baltimore at
lost
home.
Baltimore at
Baltimore.
home.
Arizona and Frisco.
Arizona and Frisco. So 4 of their 5 losses were at home.
Wow.
So
That makes sense, man.
might be lucky that they're on the road.
Yeah.
that actually might come back to be
Unless
a positive.
they're on the road in 2 weeks. They won't get lucky then.
Hey, well, they
Who
did.
knows, man? They
They
played
did
two
handle
close
that
games.
first game. And
Oh, yeah, they handled it.
Handled?
Yeah, they
I
handled
would
it.
say
A rookie missed a field goal to lose the game. That's not being handled.
handled the first.
I'm just saying they play close games.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't want to see them because there's something about
Well,
goofy-haired Russell Wilson that just, man,
His
he
curl
he
just
has
won't curl
this
over.
weird.
He sounds so fake when he talks. I'm not trying to hate on him, but
He has this weird ability to like pull games out that they have no
Yeah.
business winning.
Well, the ability comes from his coach is terrible, and instead of letting him just let it fly for the first half, they just let him be boring, and then all of a sudden it's, oh, well,
Go win the game.
We're down 11
Urgency.
points. Go,
Yeah.
go do your thing, Russ. I don't even care what. I'm not even sure they even running plays anymore.
The Dan
They're
Reeves,
just-
Dan
Carroll
Reeves,
is
John Elway
overrated
offense.
coach.
Snap it. Oh, I've always thought.
Hey, John,
that.
three
I've
quarters of
always
handing
thought
off, and then let it fly in the fourth.
all right, so we'll give our picks in a little bit. We will jump to the next game that was on Sunday. Minnesota and New Orleans. Most people picked New Orleans in this game. I know I did.
Who didn't?
I really
there was
I
people
don't
that
think I know a
there,
single
there were
person.
some people that did pick Minnesota on my feed.
Time
did
out.
we all pick?
I
the
picked
Saints?
the Saints. I thought
I know.
Saints would have covered too.
I know Vikings fans have picked the Saints.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
The Saints, when they're right, have looked like the best team in the league. But
Yeah.
I mean, this one kind of made.
What do you mean by when they're right? Like when they score 46 points at home and still lose?
Great.
I know you didn't shoot the J on him, dude. Like,
Great.
Sorry, Dave.
Think
You
about
walked in
I
there
never
as
thought
well.
I'd hate the 49ers.
They
but
really,
here we
they
are.
really, they're
49ers.
really working on
But
me.
think
My
about-
mother is a 49ers fan.
How
Bay
working on
Area,
Wow,
and
so now you don't like your mother. Way to go,
Yeah, good
Dave.
job, Dave.
Anyway,
Good job, Dave.
But if you think about how big
Welcome
of,
to Unnamed Sports Show, where only 3 of us like our mom.
if you think about though how big that game was now, I mean that game ended up being whoever got the last possession.
Yeah.
And,
100%.
And I'll tell you right now, if the Saints had gotten the ball again, we'd have lost that game.
Yeah.
That's just the
Oh,
way
no,
that.
the way
That's just
that
the way
game
that
was
game
going?
was.
Yeah.
And that game, and because of that game, even if the Niners beat Seattle, there'd be a 3rd seed. They'd be playing Minnesota.
Yeah.
And instead, and New Orleans would be the number 1 seed in the entire NFC with a whole week off. And
Yep.
that one, just leaving those
Yeah.
40-something seconds on the clock, changed the entire landscape of the NFC.
No question.
And that's how big it is to be able to get that bye week. I mean, we saw with New England, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But going back to Minnesota and New Orleans, a surprising game. Does this give you more fear, I guess, for Minnesota in the playoffs, knowing that they beat a team that really everybody was picking against them? And Kirk Cousins, I mean, he gets bashed a lot for not playing good in good games. Thankfully, none of these games are on Monday night. But
Shoot, that don't matter.
But he looked good.
Sunday night,
He looked
Monday
good.
night, Thursday night. If it's a night, he usually ain't that good.
Well,
True.
he showed up.
Yeah, no,
he showed
did.
up.
Golden
Dalvin
night.
Dalvin Cook came back looking reasonably healthy.
Michael
Yeah.
Knight.
But I mean that was the part that surprised me the most because I haven't had the hate for Kirk Cousins like Josh has.
Oh, it's
However,
deep in my.
I was not exactly full of belief that he was going to go to New Orleans in a playoff game and play really well,
Yeah.
which he did.
I wasn't so much surprised that he played well. I mean, that Minnesota defense,
Their defense.
recently hasn't looked as good as they're supposed to be looking because
Yeah.
they're a talented team.
Well, you're not surprised Minnesota scored 26, but you expect New Orleans to get
I
35.
expected, right?
35.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. And
and that would have been.
What was
more
your
than
point prediction on the article you wrote?
34-23.
Uh oh. Hold on. I'll pull up mine.
He just told us.
Oh,
No, you can pull it up.
34-23. And you know what's funny, because I remember when we first talked
Josh
about it.
just got a phone. It's new
The first
technology.
thing I thought was, I know New Orleans is better, and at the time they were 9-point favorites, and I'm like, I can't see them being like a 9-point favorite. Minnesota's a good team.
Yeah.
Whole NFC is good. So I mean, I don't know if it really changes my opinion about playing against them, because they've always had a talented team. They're always gonna have those two receivers, and then the tight end that no one ever really remembers. I mean, we do. We know his name, but then he ends up winning the game-winning.
Yeah.
Gets a game-winning touchdown in the playoffs.
And let's talk about the touchdown,
overtime.
because Saint fans are trying to cause controversy.
There's no controversy.
it was a push
That's a regular.
but
It's a
wasn't-
regular push off that they
that's-
always
it's
let go.
controversy.
But it's
That push-off's been called on one tight end ever. It was called on Gronk a couple years ago.
No, well,
and that's the list.
The very next game, they called that same exact thing. I think it was even a lighter push-off on the Seattle tight end against Philly.
Yeah.
It was a push-off. The dude's 6'6" against a 5'10" cornerback.
Yeah.
He's 260 pounds. The cornerback's 170.
He really didn't have to push him off.
I'm not sure he even had to or whatever, but I mean, it really happened. However,
He's being
I
grabbed
don't
too,
care.
though. So
Yeah.
I mean, my
they
only
were
thing.
at the 2-yard line.
My only thing is you have the opportunity to still review it. Like, they can review everything now, especially in overtime. Just make sure you have the play. So I don't have any problem with the call, because if they would have went and reviewed it and they still stayed with the call, God bless. And they usually do that anyway when they review.
They did review it.
Well, no, they didn't review.
No.
They reviewed
the
upstairs. They
referees
just
didn't review it,
yeah,
but New
they
York
just-
reviewed it and decided it was enough to review.
Yeah.
Which, let's just take away my hatred for San Antonio
No.
and
for-
Seattle
well,
for the
New Orleans.
Saints. Take my hatred out for them. I mean, come on, man. That was pretty clearly a push off. And when we're talking about players' careers and jobs and how they go down in history
Yeah.
and money they make, because these guys sign contracts with incentives.
Sure.
And when you say, "Oh, I know he didn't make the Pro Bowl this year, but he should make it next year," that's
It don't
money.
matter.
That's money.
Still money.
That's money I'm
gone.
not getting.
Yeah.
And these are people's jobs. When Des Bryant, when they called it not a catch, Des Bryant's not in the league anymore
Yeah.
because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It changes everything.
Those are touchdowns that come off my numbers and
Yep.
touchdowns that
If
I never had.
if they end up winning that game and going to a Super Bowl, maybe Tony Romo's still in the league. Maybe Dak never ever gets a chance. They're probably like, we're not benching our Super Bowl quarterback. You know what I mean?
Never know.
It changes everything.
Very
and as much as it's many hates that I have in sports, but referees are definitely the top of that list.
all right. But Dave, you don't think it was a big deal?
Personally, no. I think that's a yes. Was it a push-off? Absolutely. Do plays like that happen all the time?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
But I feel like he was getting his
Especially
arms
for
grabbed
tight
too. So if you're getting grabbed and you push off,
It's
you're still getting
it's my
grabbed.
fight
So
versus
it's
your
part,
fight.
But
it's part of releasing yourself from the guy grabbing you.
Sure.
No,
And
but it's really not. Hand fighting is not pass interference. Hand fighting is one thing. If you're supposed to, when you're trained, use your hands
Get them off
to
you.
get the hands off of you. An actual extended shove isn't part of what they're teaching you. So you know what I'm saying. So it's not really apples to apples. Hand fighting, that's just one of those things. If he would have literally grabbed him, like grabbed his jersey, then he pushes off, I'd be like, well, you know, you should have grabbed him. You should have grabbed him harder.
Yeah, no, it's you have to look at it like basketball. I mean, when you say it that way, you look at it like basketball that way. When someone's dribbling and they put the arm out, if they keep the arm close, you don't get the call. That's James Harden's a master of this. James Harden gets the arm out just far enough
That is not a
to
call.
not get the call.
Yeah.
Whereas there's a lot of other ball handlers that extend the arm and
And you get
easy
get
call.
that called.
I'm
Well,
listen,
that man extended his arm.
Was-
for sure.
What was it a push off? Absolutely, but I just feel like that play happens
All
often.
the time.
Receivers
I mean, yeah.
get open that way a lot.
Yeah.
And then maybe they should call it a lot. Doesn't change the fact that was a push off.
If they
Yeah.
started calling it a lot, the league would probably soften the rule because
If they started
it's
calling it a
gotten
lot, maybe they'd stop doing it a lot.
maybe.
Because
But-
they stopped calling helmet to helmet a lot, and that doesn't happen as much as it used to back 10 years ago.
Well,
But-
Carson Wentz died.
But still, I think that the league is built now on trying to have high scoring teams, and
Yeah.
you stop that push off, scoring goes down.
I mean, you say that, but every single game this week went under. Every one of them.
Yeah.
All four.
Really? I didn't realize
all
that.
4 of them. All
Wow,
4
lots.
went under.
Wow.
Yeah, and some weren't even close.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's cool if you don't want to call it every single time. It's just like in baseball. In baseball,
But it's the last play of the game.
thank
it's the
you.
winning
Exactly.
play, yeah.
In baseball, a batter will say, "Listen, man, you make that call on a 2-1 count, fine, but don't strike me out on a ball that's 4 inches off the plate."
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing. Okay, fine. Yeah, maybe it does happen all the time, but we're talking about this is the
To
last
move
play
on to the
of
play
my entire
well,
season.
Well, put
Yeah.
it this way though, if they make that call, they're kicking a field goal.
Kicking a
now,
field goal.
Now the
it's
Saints have a
down-
chance.
Was
to
that third
continue.
down?
That was third down.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
third down. That was the reason why I was like, hey, like review that
Yeah.
because it wasn't like, oh, they'll get another shot and then
Right.
whatever. It was third down, so
And
they
Breeze
take
at
10
home
yards,
could have easily drove for
a touchdown or a 3.
And you know what? And guess what? It wouldn't have been a field goal because it just would have replayed third down. They still had another play to try and go for
Yeah.
a touchdown if they wanted to.
Yeah, they just would have been at the
It
12.
would have been at the 12 instead. Yeah.
Yeah,
It changes
or
everything.
wherever they were. I think
Right.
they were.
I
I think
think-
they
I
might have
think- I
been
think they got
good on
pushed
the
back
5.
to, like, the
Yeah,
14.
because
Because-
Dalvin Cook had that run out of
Because
bounds.
Mike Zimmer was trying everything he could to not score touchdowns.
But New Orleans is a victim of circumstance.
Yeah, every year.
Last year's call, I mean, that was the worst. This,
Yeah,
But don't get yourself in that position.
but you could also make the same point that every time they were getting the ball, I mean, Kamara looked like Kamara again yesterday, but they only got him
More or
like
less.
13 or 15 touches, and he was getting positive yardage.
you think
every
Kamara
time he
looked
touched
good
the ball.
yesterday?
I didn't think he looked great
I thought he looked good every time they got in the ball in space.
I thought
in space. Yeah, running the ball, he didn't look great.
No,
to me.
not running the ball. I'm saying every time they got him the ball in space,
Yeah,
he was making things happen.
I
Yeah,
feel like
no,
that
that's
kid's
true.
been playing all year injured, and he's been trying to play through it. And
yeah. He had 21 yards
what
on
you gonna
7 carries, 3-yard average.
Yikes.
And then he had let's see, he had 8 receptions for 34 yards. So I mean, his long was 9. So he was moving the chains. He was still being a part, but he wasn't killing anybody.
I
for
felt
sure.
like Murray actually might have played better than him. But
he did. Latavius Murray
his
had
final numbers
he's
probably
been
won't
better
look
all
as
year.
great.
yeah.
All right, we'll give picks after we talk about all these games, but it was a very good game. I mean, that was if you want entertainment, overtime playoff game is
Well,
great.
Shoot, we had.
I
what?
hate I hate overtime rules. So
I hate-
college
I-
overtime is so beautiful.
I love
Why
college
can't
overtime.
NFL
The
just
NFL won't do it because the TV networks say they don't want it stretching on longer, but I don't know why, because that's more commercials.
Well,
more people tune in the long if
Well,
people know it's in overtime.
And the
more people are
college
gonna
one,
be
I don't
tuning in.
care what people say about how it like bastardizes the game or something. You can't tell me watching a college overtime game that that's not fun.
no, it's fun, but to your first point, I guess what I will say though, these games they're so staggered perfectly, so each network gets their moment to have their pregame, to have all their stuff. If you start having if you think about we had 2 overtime games and a third game that was decided by a touchdown. Tom Brady makes one last drive, they tie the game.
Yeah.
That one goes to overtime too. So that was and basically every game was under 1 score at the end of the at the end of the day. With the overtime rules going that way, the games would actually start to overlap, and then that would start to be a problem just for a playoff.
And how many overtime
So
games are there?
what?
I get it,
The
but
networks
the
can
networks
easily
can start
move
to cry
15
about
they're
it.
minutes
not
later.
even. They're not even on the same channel.
And the
no,
other
I know,
thing is,
but they don't want to lose eyeballs.
Josh, I'm also happy to never see another tie again in the NFL.
Yeah.
I
In the
don't-
college
I-
overtime rule, there are no ties.
I don't care
No, there
about
are no
ties in
ties.
the NFL only because I don't want to see anybody playing pro football in the regular season for 4.5 hours.
yeah, it's too much.
Okay,
Just end the game.
College. So what? You tore your knee. It's all right. We have another 18 kids coming.
Yeah.
we got 5 red shirts that we can bring up.
And
Like
you
it's
still got a combine where you can prove it.
It's fine.
You'll
be all right.
You're 19.
But even in college, how many overtime games are really super long though?
Oh, there's a couple.
You
They're-
get
they're-
some, but most of the time,
they're like
they
one,
last
one
a
overtime.
couple back and forth, and then it's
Here's the thing.
over.
It's an easy fix, and college did this, which shortened a lot of their overtime. It's a really easy
Go
fix.
for 2.
After the first 2 possessions, if they both scored, from now
Go for
You have
2.
to go for
you don't
no
just
choice.
take out the kickoffs, just fine. So they don't even have to go to commercial. Somebody scores, they get the ball at the 40. Let's go.
and guess what? It's more entertaining.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after 2, if you both had the ball, you both scored. Now we're going for 2.
I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind. I'm with you guys. I wouldn't mind it. I I think that's probably one of the reasons.
My thing that I hate the most about it is it puts so much on a coin toss.
It does.
I hate that.
It really, really
like
does. That's true.
I don't like that people's whole seasons
come
down
to
to a coin toss.
Coin toss. That's
Whereas in college, that can't happen. You get your shot, no matter what.
We'll look at it. Both teams that won the coin toss won the game both times in both overtimes. The Texans won the coin toss. I think they still punted. Didn't they?
They
both had their opportunities, but the Texans won the flip. They ended up getting the win.
And it's not even to me. It goes even on a less deep level than that. Like,
And last point too, I want to move.
yeah, okay. Let me move on. We're fans of this sport, and our lives of watching sports is built on the stories that we told from what we saw in the past.
Yeah.
And why wouldn't we want it to be Drew Brees got the ball and either they stopped him or he scored, or maybe he scored and they decided, let's go for two.
Yeah.
Isn't that a better story? Isn't that something
And
that
he
we
didn't even get the
you know
ball.
what I'm saying? And he never got
the ball at home. At home.
And just as a fan, I just want to see both
That's
of them
true.
touch it.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next game. Tom Brady. And I told Cream I felt like they could lose this game, and I picked them to lose. I mean, I was very.
Who didn't feel like they could lose this
I was
game?
a strong pick on
I
this.
felt like
This is
listen,
my strongest pick, to
A
be
lot
honest.
of us felt they could lose. Quan was the only one who was like, no.
They're going to lose.
They're losing.
The
None
fact
of-
you
none of us-
lose to Miami at home, that
Yeah.
is a playoff game.
Yeah.
That you cannot lose because you need that bye.
You get the bye.
And you lose that game. I knew if you lose that game, you're losing to a way better team
That's crazy.
in the wild card. And I just saw it on their faces. You could just tell this was not their year. And we've said that before, but this felt a lot more like it to where it's like, okay, this is not your year. Plus, you're missing a lot of weapons that you had in the past that you don't have now, mainly wide receivers and tight ends.
Well, plus Tennessee was a horrible matchup for them.
They were.
They're a team built on running where
I mean,
their
Derrick
strength is the
Henry
secondary.
is amazing,
And
which a lot of people don't even know who he is.
They should. I hope they do now.
There used to be no such thing as a horrible matchup for New England, though.
True,
I mean,
but there
it
is
used-
now.
Yeah.
It used to be that, but now, I mean, teams that are physical and run that ball, get to the edge, are the ones giving them problems.
I mean, but think about
Plus
it. Think
former
about it.
Pats
Even
coaches.
during the time when Peyton and them would go back and forth, it really came down to, well, who's got home field, and then all right, and then is Peyton gonna make that one bad play at the end of the game? Like, are they gonna confuse him enough to really bother him?
Yeah,
They would all. I mean, like
that's a little different than bad matchup. I mean, that's
that was just a fair. It was just a fair matchup. It's fair. It's who wins the day.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Mhm.
It's that's different than. Man, it seems not
I
that
don't
good,
like
but
them.
there's just something about them.
They won 9 games. We won 12, and I feel bad.
Yeah,
Like, there's no reason.
Is there
for
a
us
way
to
we can
feel bad.
avoid them in the first round? Like, it's not.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
It's
true.
a little
No,
different.
that's true. That is very true. Especially with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback. You're
Tennessee was coming,
we're fine.
and Tennessee was coming in hot. Like, they were probably a team that a lot of teams wanted to avoid. I'm sure a lot of teams were rooting for the Texans the last week or for the Steelers the last couple
And
weeks.
Tennessee is going to Baltimore, right?
Absolutely.
That's going to be an interesting.
It's going to be a
game,
fun game. I think that's going to be closer than
People give credit.
people are throwing Baltimore in the Super Bowl a little way too prematurely.
Yeah,
Because I really favor the Chiefs, to be honest, because
Well,
they've
Mahomes
been
looks
there.
good again.
they're coming
They've
in
been
hot.
there. Yeah,
Mahomes looks like Mahomes again, and people slept on them, not realizing that they just got to buy. No, people thought they might not make the playoffs a few weeks ago.
yeah.
When the Raiders might win the division.
Oh my God, who thought that?
Well, there was
there was like a 2-week burst where it was actually an option.
yeah.
I didn't think it was going to happen,
I
but
mean,
it was
a
actually
lot of things are an option, Josh.
I mean, they were playing each other when I believe the Chiefs were 8-4.
Yeah.
And the Raiders were 6-6. And if the Raiders win that game, they're only a game out of first place. So
Yeah.
I mean that was a real thing.
for 30
for a while.
But I
seconds.
mean,
but
yeah.
But
even
Derek Carr.
even before that, people really thought their season was over in week 4
yeah,
when Mahomes tore up his knee.
Yeah.
And we were all like because none of us here are Chiefs fans, but we all have a pretty
You still wanna-
have a pretty healthy appreciation
Yeah.
for Patrick
100%.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
And
Andy Reid, he's a great coach.
I like Andy Reid, but I like it.
Andy Reid is a great coach.
He's a great
we
coach.
had a conversation beforehand, and I was
This
saying how
guy
great he is.
was, lost his mind over this.
Quan was
because Josh brought in an equation that had nothing to do with what we were talking about.
Oh, that's in the
with
next
Andy
game.
Reid.
That's in the next game.
We will be talking about
we
that.
can come back to that. We can
Listen,
resurface it.
it's about to get heated because Dave is a diehard Bills fan. I'm not a Josh Allen fan.
Kareem's not a Josh Allen fan.
Josh is a Josh Allen fan because
no,
of his name.
So
we'll talk about it. Hold on, we're not there yet.
Yeah, I always cheer for other Joshes.
Let's continue.
Josh Power.
What do you guys think Tom Brady does? I thought this could be his last game. So watching the
last game or last game in New England?
Last game. Ooh. So watching, not now. I don't think that now. Watching the press conference after the game, he sounds like he's saying goodbye to Boston.
Tactics.
It's possible, but that's what it sounds like right then and there. And then when they ask him, do you think you could retire? He's like, I highly doubt it, or whatever he said.
Yeah, it's something like it was something to that
where
effect.
he's probably not retiring. So, like Dave said, is that tactics to get New England moving? On a new contract.
Yeah.
Or could you guys see him playing anywhere else? I can't, but at the same time, we saw it with Joe Montana. We've seen it with a lot of other players that you thought you would never see it with.
Okay, so I guess
L.A.
Chargers. The Chargers.
The Chargers might sell some tickets.
Heck yeah, they would freaking sell a lot of tickets.
Chargers would overpay for Tom Brady.
The Chargers
it would be smart. It would be smart.
I would have said the Bears,
They're
but the
not
Bears
selling
sound
any
like they're holding on with Trubisky still. Outside of that, I don't see a lot of different
they've
avenues.
talked
of Tom
about
Brady
they-
over.
That makes sense.
There's rumors, and I've read stories of him not going, but coming to the Las Vegas Raiders,
Nope.
possibly.
Not a chance.
I've you know what? I could
Come
see
on,
that
you guys
too.
stir it up.
I could see that too.
I can't at all.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
I think Cam Newton's destined to be here.
Ooh. And that would hurt everybody.
Wow.
That actually is not bad either. That's actually
Let me get on these media credentials
100%.
now.
that's actually quiet. That's a quiet killer right there. That's
That
actually
would
not
be
bad.
nice.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all, actually.
It's a star. He's clearly
That
not
would-
coming back there.
Would that help all of us be more of a fan for the Raiders?
I'm already gonna.
It would
I'll
pique
cheer
my
for them.
interest. I
I
would
don't
be
mind
much
them.
more
I
interested.
never was a Raider hater. I
Me
like
neither.
John Gruden. when
I've
he
never
was
been
there
a Raider
before.
hater. I've always been a Niner fan, and they've never ever been a threat to me.
The funny
so-
thing, people get mad. People have told me, and they might have told you too. You can't be a Niner fan and a Raider fan at the same time.
But you're also not
But
from there.
And that's what I'm trying to tell. I don't care about the Bay. I don't care about San Francisco. I care about the 49ers.
I'm a Las Vegas fan.
If the 49ers moved to Vancouver, guess who my favorite team would be? The
Vancouver 49ers.
Exactly.
Where there is no gold.
I don't care about your city.
and not just that, y'all got to stop treating these sports teams like they are children. They don't care about you. They didn't care about Oakland when they came here.
They care about
They
me.
don't. They, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm gonna stop being a fan. There are 40 just like you, and they're gonna pick them up.
They're not saying I don't care where you sit.
And right. So they're
I
not
don't
your.
even know
They're
where
not
you're
your.
sitting at.
Like, they're not your kids. Like, you're allowed to like two teams.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm not
you
agreeing with
can't
any
call
of this.
yourself a fan of two teams. Don't get me wrong. You cannot call yourself a
You
fan.
only
of
can be one.
You can be a fan of
That's right.
one team.
That's right.
Those are the rules.
Thank you.
Them's the rules.
I cheered listen, I cheered for Peyton Manning, Brett Favre. I cheered for certain quarterbacks, and and then Barry Sanders, I would cheer for him because he was just Barry
Because you
Sanders.
should have to.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But like in terms of actually they're my team or I want them to win, like
Yeah.
I can cheer and be happy that.
And it would-
But
Yeah.
that changes
would
all the
be-
time for you, Josh.
No.
Yeah,
I
it
cheered
doesn't.
for Kobe every year. If the Rockets weren't in the
going anywhere.
NBA championship,
Yeah, they
I was
weren't.
like, well, I hope Kobe gets it.
Yeah, they never were.
Not in
Did
my
happen
life.
twice.
Yeah, they got two.
Not in my life. No,
What do you mean? You ain't young.
I
People in a
wasn't a
Rockets
Rockets fan then.
Talked about that.
I was a Charles Barkley fan.
Dang it. So you were on the Suns then. You don't like John Paxson.
I guess who kept beating us? The Rockets.
That's true. That's very true.
My heart is just.
Keem was a bad man.
Your good luck, Chuck, is what you're saying. The second you let go, those Suns got pretty good again.
Evidently, it's bad luck, Chuck.
Yeah, no kidding. No, they already had a bad luck Chuck. He went from Phoenix to the Rockets.
Oh, okay, so you've held on to the Rockets since Charles Barkley was there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well,
Held on like Wilson Phillips for one more day.
Wow. Dave is really, really like. Dave doesn't understand. I had a long day. I'm a step slow. I'm a little lethargic.
That's every day.
Well, I hit him with a good one before the show too, but I haven't had an opportunity to break that one back out again yet.
Oh man!
But it might come up here soon.
I'm so excited.
Possible.
I don't know. He flamed me up about the jersey.
I'm Jesse Spano. I'm so excited.
I'm so
But I'm so scared.
Man, you gotta shake the whole table. When
You guys are having.
Remember that episode though when they were like,
of course.
Do you remember that episode?
Jesse, hold on.
No, I don't remember the most
No, but
iconic
I'm
Saved
talking
by the
about the
Bell
part
episode.
where he's like, Jesse, are you taking caffeine pills? It's like, caffeine pills? Jesse, did you drink a Coca-Cola? You can't sing tonight.
Well, I don't think NBC
man.
morning shows were allowing like, Jesse, are you on meth?
Is this speed, Jesse?
They were like, Jesse, did you get 10 hours of rest? Oh, you can't sing tonight.
I'm telling you, if she never took those pills, she wouldn't have moved to Vegas and started dancing
Doing
and doing
Showgirls?
what she did here.
Man,
I'm convinced that
Caffeine
Showgirls is a
pills, slippery
continuation.
slope.
It's a slippery slope. It's a gate.
That sounds like a
gateway drug.
That sounds like a
it's
Steve.
a gateway pill.
drug.
It's a gateway pill. Only
Anyways.
starts with there.
Jesse, is this no-dose? Oh, you're not singing tonight.
Where do you guys think New England goes from here? Does Tom Brady stay or does he go somewhere else? And even if he does stay, where are they as a team?
I can tell you what I thought when I heard that press conference was it sounded like the reason why Brady sounded the way he sounded was he knows that Belichick's the one who's done with him. Belichick doesn't want him back.
Yeah.
He wants to be back. So now it's all on Kraft because you know what Kraft wants.
Kraft will never let him leave.
Kraft wants Brady.
Yeah.
Maybe that may have been the case 2-3 years ago. Now they lose in this first round. They score 13 points. They look like they can't even get in the end zone. And let's just say Jimmy Garoppolo ends up in an NFC Championship game or a Super Bowl. And Kraft is looking back like,
We had Jimmy Garoppolo.
we had this guy. And now I'm the one who decided to use my emotions instead of my head. And
well, you did get 2 more rings out of it.
they did get 2 more appearances out of it.
2 more appearances.
One more.
Sorry,
but
one
which-
ring.
Still another ring.
Which, by the way,
Still another ring, yeah.
still not a bad trade.
They're already on house money.
Not a bad
yeah.
trade.
For a while.
All right, real quick, we do have a phone caller live on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You know where I'm from. You know my name.
You are Desiree from
Oh,
Philly.
Desiree Downer.
She sounds depressed.
Oh,
You have
depressing
nothing to be
Desiree.
down about. Your
That's-
team overachieved this year in a horrible division that shouldn't have had a playoff.
Just won a Super Bowl 2
Not even
seasons ago.
playoffs.
That's exactly
I wanna hear
that's
nothing.
exactly how Carson Wentz sounded in the ER.
Wow.
You know my
I know.
name. No,
That
I want to
was-
hear you say it.
that
Sir.
was-
You know where I'm from? No, where are you from, Carson?
No, seriously,
You know.
Do you know where you're at? You know my name.
You know where I'm
You
from.
guys is-
I don't think he'll be
guys
back in
are
the
so
game.
mean.
Oh.
I
Desiree,
know,
I
we were
respect the
actually
heck out of
talking
you.
about that.
I respect you just for calling in, girl.
Let her
And
go
getting-
ahead. Let
getting
her
defeated.
I
talk.
did.
Go ahead, Desiree. You have the
Is that
floor.
it? No, I just had to get my call in because I'm quickly dozing off and you guys are all over the place. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Right,
I am.
just work hard. Your show is horrible.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
But I was getting tired, so I just wanted to call. But no, I am proud of them. I was really frustrated seeing Wentz go down with the concussion protocol. However, what was his name? McCowan?
No, Clowney.
He
What you talking about?
She can call him whatever she wants to call him right now, right?
Apparently so.
But I'm proud of them. Like, we have a 12 IR list going on right now, which is
12.
all of our
That
starters.
sounds low.
That sounds really low.
That sounds very
I think she means just the offense.
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
offensive
for real.
line.
I'm just saying, half of our team's in the IR list. So I can't be mad. I'm appreciative that they try to go out there, and do their best. So I was just hoping to go to the next game. I was hoping Seattle would have not came back and we could have just won and I could have gone to Green Bay and all would have been happy in the world.
And I
But
think they win that game if Wentz doesn't go down.
Ooh, Desiree, you would have went to Green Bay in that
said
cold.
that.
You a bad girl.
Oh,
You a bad
I
girl.
was going.
That is not
I was
fun.
going. Well, I was watching the Saints game, and I was like, well, if they win, we go into San Francisco. But then they lost. So now we got to go to Green Bay. So I was like, you know what? Bet. Because if we make it that far, you have to not even projected to win, let alone second round in the playoffs. Come on now.
You probably had a better chance getting another game in
no.
San Francisco than you would in Green Bay.
Think so?
Oh, I know.
whatever
Those
reason.
prices would have been ridiculous.
Huh?
You think
The
that
prices
the
would've been
Eagles
crazy.
would have had a better
Oh,
chance?
you think I'm
versus
talking
the-
about ticket prices?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Green Bay. Those ticket
yeah.
prices.
You ain't getting no
are
tickets
not
in Green Bay.
fun.
No,
That's true.
I'm saying
No,
no,
that's
no.
true.
I mean, she's
Getting a better chance.
not getting tickets.
No,
Got it.
no,
And-
definitely
Got
not.
it. Got it.
Jeez.
There's
Oh.
certain things that are would
Mhm.
prohibit that.
Yeah.
What is that?
Just the one thing.
Just
Yeah,
the one thing.
Eagle fan.
Well,
No,
well,
Yeah, I don't know. You guys are like giving me a lot of eye
I'm
contact.
Josh Black.
There's other black people in the stands in Green Bay.
there are.
in Green
They have
Bay?
cheese on their head.
Whoa.
You know
Are
what?
they married or related to the players?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Lies.
Yeah,
I
they-
could have
gotten
yeah,
tickets.
they're Greg Jennings and
Oh, that
Sterling
looks
Sharp.
Greg
Don't
Jennings.
There's a couple of our Bleeding
the
Green
team on
crew
my
who
back.
goes to Green Bay all the time. For whenever we play them, they go. I guess they said I've never been, so
Yeah.
but they said it's really one of the best places to go. Like, they have a lot of fun and places to eat. I've never been, so I don't know.
I was going to
I just
Green
wanted
Bay.
to go.
I actually was going to go this year, so that's how I know you can get tickets.
Because
To a
you
playoff
because
game?
you did
Oh, okay.
you know that because you didn't go
No, I was about to buy tickets.
I was thinking about going.
about to buy
But I
tickets,
didn't,
but
so
you,
that's how I
that's
know you could
how
go.
does that
You
mean
can go. The tickets are available. Is all I'm
Yeah,
saying. You was making.
yeah, you can go all right.
I
in-
was gonna
in
try to
Gr-
flap my wings and fly earlier, Kareem, but I didn't do it. So now I know I can.
I know I
Oh
can.
my god.
No,
No.
you can
I
definitely.
got to the point of putting in a credit card and then I shut it down. I did have the option to buy the tickets.
You can definitely go in groups.
No. I can go by myself. It's
Oh
just
my-
going to be a little
Is
dangerous
it
for me.
that
That's all.
bad?
No, it's fine.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
People from
Desiree,
it's
we
people from
appreciate the
Minnesota.
call. Go ahead, go to bed. You know,
Thank you.
have good dreams.
Pray for Joel's finger.
Thanks, Quan.
Yeah, pray for Joel Embiid's finger because that looked like it was going to come all the way
I
off his hand.
know.
Ooh, I missed
I
that.
didn't see
Oh,
that.
gosh.
Didn't it?
He still
Oh, you
played
didn't see
after
that?
that, but it
They
got
still won.
dislocated. All it was like just hanging over here.
Oh no,
It was
I can't
hanging.
watch those.
You know,
I
it
can't. That's
reminded
not
me.
times.
I've done that.
I know you.
I've done that before. I've gotten. I got it. Someone was attempting to block me, but they missed,
I was
and
going
they
to say,
blocked my
doing
hand.
Oof.
And playing ball, knock it off. And so
Josh,
missed
what
my
is
whole
your
hand.
problem?
wrong with?
What is your problem? This is 2 weeks in a row. Desiree called in and got harassed.
That's way too. That's way too open.
No,
That's way too
no, it was
open.
not.
I was
Hey.
Nobody
Nobody
else-
a basketball moment.
I really didn't
Oh,
even
Lord.
think about it until.
I can't.
Dave was
Too
rolling.
much.
No, he's not.
No,
He's-
that wasn't rolling. That was a look of shock.
Yeah, it was shock.
Dare you?
That's all right. That's all right. Desiree's my girl. These questions could come out.
Ridiculous. I forgot my story.
No,
Oh, well.
you almost dislocated your finger. Your finger was hurt.
Oh,
The girl
yeah,
tried to
yeah,
block
yeah.
your shot, and then I said something inappropriate.
And
I
yeah,
can
she
give you
did.
play by play.
When you were
she-
shooting your shot with that girl, keep going.
She hit my hand so hard, my finger dislocated, but I didn't realize it because your adrenaline's running.
Ooh.
And so looking at Embiid, it just reminded me because my finger was literally purple, but I taped it. I taped it with my other finger and played the rest of the game when I got in that
That's
ball.
how you do it.
If my
My
finger
whole
does
hand was-
that,
I'm calling an ambulance.
I'm calling 911.
Actually, somebody's calling them for me because my finger's messed up.
Because you can't think or
I can't
breathe.
do it.
I'm writing out my will.
That was
I,
a quick
Pass
one.
out.
And it was on your shooting hand too,
Not when
Desiree.
not when you're, yeah,
Ooh.
but not when your adrenaline's pumping. Like Josh knows, when you're playing ball, like you got all kind of stuff. But the moment you sit out or sit down or
Yeah.
go on timeout,
None of
everything
us.
starts to
It's
rush,
a
and you're
wrap.
like,
yeah, none of those ever played before.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
y'all sound
Only
like y'all
Josh has
shut.
played
Y'all
basketball.
sound like you shut down. I mean, it's just a finger.
if my finger's up like that, I'm not playing.
I can't-
I don't get paid.
Come on. It's
I don't
you
get
know.
paid for
Come
that.
on, Ronnie Lott, cut it off.
I'm
I've taped
good.
it up many times.
Cut it off.
Cut it
Cut the
off.
finger off.
oh, Lord.
I'm not gonna lie, I could not. I think Ronnie Lott's an idiot for that too.
Oh, hey man,
Great-
it's still
great
it's
story,
gangster-
Ronnie.
Most gangster story ever
Great
after the
story,
fact.
Ronnie, but I feel like you could have just taped them instead of cutting.
Yeah.
He said, "I'm not missing the game. Cut the finger." cut the finger off.
I thought I'm not
You
missing
still
a
not
game
missed
to
a game.
tape the finger. Like,
No, they were like you got to have surgery and you gonna miss the rest of the season. He was like, or we can
He's not a
amputate-
receiver.
We can amputate the finger,
but that's
and
you can either have surgery or you can have surgery.
Yeah.
What do you think amputating is?
so you got surgery. You can have
Surgery.
like
Ooh, I don't like the way you said the second one, Doc.
Yeah.
Let's go with the first option.
so we're gonna cut your finger off. Wait a minute.
Whoa.
All right, Desiree, we're everywhere again, so we appreciate the call.
Yeah.
And sorry about the Philly
It's
loss.
all right.
I want them to win.
Nothing to be
It's
ashamed
all
of. man.
right. I did too.
Except
I really
being
did.
in
I was
the
really
NFC
actually
East.
hoping. You know, we have our good years and bad. Some
Yeah,
years we're
this was definitely a
dominant.
bad
No one
year.
can look
Hey,
at
listen,
They
us.
definitely didn't
And this
dominate.
was
Every team in
this
my
was the
division has
opposite.
won a championship. Moving on.
Not this year, and they barely won enough games to make the playoffs.
Your division can't say that.
Every team.
I don't care about my division. I
You
care about my
just
said
team.
my division is trash.
They
I was just-
are.
Your
They are
division
horrible this
is trash.
It is trash.
Currently, it is trash.
Currently.
That's what we're talking about.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just said every team in your division has it.
But they've all been. to
So
the Super
what?
Bowl.
What? You play to win the game, Dave.
Well, Niners have won 5 of those
Did
games.
and
the
how-
Washington
and how'd that
professional
work
football
out?
team play to win the game
Not
that
this
work
this year?
out?
year. Not this year. Good try.
So
It
then
was
you
a good
don't.
try.
So then you don't
Well,
play to win the game.
yeah.
Or maybe we play to win the game and you don't.
Well, y'all won 9-0 versus us. I don't want to hear all these daggone shenanigans.
So we
like-
shut you out.
In a deluge.
Zero
A deluge,
points.
Josh.
Zero
I'm amazed
points.
they
Y'all have
scored
a-
9
y'all
All
now.
right,
have a
Desiree.
comeback
Thanks,
for
Desiree. We
everything.
appreciate you. We'll let you go now.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
You know my team was trash
Good
this
night.
year.
Yo, if you guys want to call in, hit us up 702-608-3259.
Yes, we
did know
your team was trash this year.
And Goose said the same thing. He dislocated his middle finger on the shooting hand, taped that thing up, and kept
Always
hooping.
take. Yeah, that's what you do.
As long as it's not the thumb. The thumb is where I'm not feeling good.
That doesn't seem like something you could just really take.
Yeah, you can't tape up the thumb.
Where are you going to tape it
Can't
to?
tape the thumb like here.
It's,
Yeah.
it's an
You're not gonna get
opposable
Josh
thumb.
like that, Josh.
Doesn't work the same. Doesn't work the same.
Joakim Noah might be able to shoot like that.
It don't matter.
That's how Phillip Rivers throws anyway. It's all good.
Wow.
All 4 fingers.
I don't know how he does it.
All right, do we have any more games? Oh, yeah. One more
there's
game.
one more game.
Okay. Man,
Oh, Dave.
a game that should have been won by the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
But Deshaun Watson, let me tell you, that man's dope.
He's dope.
That's a baller right there.
I have no bad words to say about that.
I
man.
wouldn't call him the Michael Jordan of football like some
That
people
was
do.
ridiculous. People need to calm down.
And
So-
if
wait,
I
wait,
was
some people don't do that. Dabo said that.
Dabo did that.
yeah, but somebody
Dabo's an
repeated
idiot
it
also.
on TV.
Let's not forget that.
Somebody repeating it on TV,
Dabo
so
what?
they were.
Dabo's an idiot.
I'm not
Stop
getting into
your
Dabo
Dabo
because that group
slander.
chat, I don't know.
I will slander Dabo all day.
Stop your Dabo slander.
Don't look at Cream.
Is
'cause
he
you already know how
a
that's
successful
gonna go.
coach?
Dabo's an idiot.
Yeah.
Is he a successful coach? Yes.
Yes, he
Is he an idiot? Also, yes.
Why is he an idiot?
No,
Gee,
Josh,
maybe his whole
why?
stance on
Hey, listen.
his players.
So the Bills and Texans.
I'm not going to say the mentality that he has,
Slave
but you
owner.
know what I'm thinking.
I've said it.
Cream said it before. Slave owner.
I agree with Kareem.
And I don't know enough to agree or disagree. I don't pay attention to Dabo or college football enough. But I don't know.
Plus, your name's Dabo. You're a clear idiot anyway.
Wow.
Get out of here.
At some point, you got to get a nickname.
Yeah.
Dave.
Maybe Dabo's his nickname.
Yeah, maybe his real name
Then
is
that's
Dave,
horrible.
So they chose it.
and he went with Dabo. That's like
If
saying
I
Debo on
ever
the.
say
Dabo-lini.
call me Dabo,
Yeah.
I give you permission to slit my throat
Wow.
because it's time for me to go.
wow.
Can
It's
you
the
put,
dumbest name I ever heard
can
in my
you put that
life.
in writing for all of us? Because I'm not sure.
Sure can.
The district
Dave,
attorney.
I'll get it notarized.
The
Dave,
district attorney is going to be like,
I'll get
yeah,
somebody to get
this
their little
isn't good
stamp
enough
out.
for you.
Dave,
Yes,
on
for
your
the throat.
tombstone, if you go first, it's gonna be David quote Dabo Nobles at the end. I'm gonna do it
I
just
will
to
rise from the grave
just
and
to
haunt
troll
you, Josh
just to
Williams.
He
troll
will
you
do
at
the
the end.
Undertaker sit up right out of that
That's
casket.
I will troll you on the way out, and
Anyway,
everyone will laugh.
back
about it.
Anywhom.
Back to Houston and Buffalo, which I wish Buffalo would have did a draw play on 3rd and 10 and then spiked the ball
Spike the
on
ball.
4th down.
Spike
Booger.
going forward.
Why is
Booger needs to lose.
Why,
I want
how is he
everyone
on
to be
TV?
I want
How is
everyone
he
to
on
be
TV?
employed. I want everybody to be employed.
And get a job
that
doing
man
something
needs
else.
to lose his job. He is making me long for the days of Jason Witten.
Don't be ridiculous. That's too far. That's too far.
No.
Let me tell you.
Give me John Madden. Bring
Listen,
John
Kareem,
back.
if they want to win this, if they want to win this game, if they want to be in the playoffs still to next year, they need to win this game.
See, what they're going to need to do is, to win this game, see, this team has 27. They're going to have to at least get to the 28, 29 mark, and then they'll have a chance.
Well, throw your finger out way to the side while you're doing it, too.
His fingers like this. and also,
And he loves to just
puts
put it
that
out there.
finger on TV on purpose. You can't convince me otherwise.
That's sad.
Like, when he just, first of all, nobody talks like this.
No.
Like, just like this, and then just.
It just puts their hand out
You
weird
know what you're doing.
in weird ways. Next season, he's probably going to be doing like jazz hands.
Right.
Just so you can see.
If
And one of them just off to the side doing its own little improvisation.
Its own
what
dance.
was that Friends jersey?
If anyone's one.
I appreciate Kareem always having my
I mean, we're the only two black people here. We know the friends. We know the friends dance. That's not good.
I don't
anybody-
know. I don't know what was worse, the Booger's commentary or the actual coaching in this game, because both were atrocious.
Well, first of all, if anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, there was a point at the end of the game when it was clear that they were going for a field goal or was going to overtime, where it was 3rd and 10, and Booger said, "If I were the Bills here, I would just run a halfback draw,
And then
spike the ball.
And then spike the ball.
Well, the
Fourth
halfback
down.
draw would put it at 4th down, and if you spike the ball, that would mean it's,
Which there wasn't enough time to run a
turnover
draw,
on
right?
And there wasn't even any time to run a draw.
All you could do is
needed
kick.
time.
Yeah, you needed to line everybody up just to even spike the ball.
And then to spike the ball probably would have lost you the game 100%.
Yeah,
Correct.
100%.
Yes, that's the
if you're just
study
trying to
show.
take time off the clock, why wouldn't you just snap it, run
Well,
for 2 seconds, throw it away?
Booger told me
Well,
if you're the
on
team
fifth
with
down.
less points at the end of the game, you lost the game.
That's correct. That's correct.
That's what he told me. I didn't know that before
man.
that.
So anyway,
Yeah.
to the game.
To the game, Houston beats Buffalo in overtime. Deshaun Watson, that sack that looked like a double sack,
That was
and he escaped from that. I don't
And
know if
made
that's
a play.
bad tackling or
That
just
hurt.
amazing
No,
quarterback.
it's amazing.
Deshaun Watson.
No, here's the thing.
That was crazy.
It's
I
hard-
thought he was done, and all of a sudden he just runs it in game over.
Yeah, and it's hard to call any bad tackling on a quarterback because you don't know how to hit him anyway. So
True.
they did what they knew to do that wouldn't be a penalty, and they both did it. They just lowered their shoulder and just hit him.
I feel like they hit him almost simultaneous, and that's what helped
kinda
him
helped
up.
it.
He was
I
able
don't
to
even think
kind
it
of
was simultaneous. I think this one knocked him down, and this one knocked him back up. Yeah, it
True.
was just amazing. It was, but then again, there's a lot of quarterbacks who have seen that guy coming because they
Would've
came
died.
pretty clean, and would have been like, you know what?
I'm just gonna shut it
gonna
down.
live to fight another
Yeah.
day.
He's a special player. I mean, he was in college. He is in the NFL. It's just he has the ability to do things like that.
And
I still don't think he's great, but he is pretty good.
he's very clutch.
yeah.
He's
very
not great,
clutch.
but I
He's
don't
not
want to
great yet.
see him with the ball at the end of a game.
And
True.
and also maybe he is great, but he is also a victim of horrifying coaching.
Oh, my Lord.
What they had him doing in that first half, after being down 21-0 last year in the playoffs,
Yeah.
and then not coming out saying, "Okay, this isn't happening again."
Yeah.
Oh no, it happened again
Yeah.
because
Yep,
they
same
just did that same vanilla.
Nothing.
Let Deshaun just kind of run around and hold the ball forever, and then get sacked.
Not throw it to DeAndre Hopkins.
But then
Ever.
right? Yeah, no targets. But then that game changed which is a good omen for me and Mr. Alexander over here in front of me. When J.J. Watt, who was when he was pretty much a part-time player, like the beginning of the game, makes that sack that keeps him out of the end zone, playing on one peck, and that changed the entire momentum. From then on,
Yeah.
that sparked everybody.
They-
then they had that drive, and Deshaun went right down the field.
I will say that they kept making Tessitore kept oh, and that play by J.J. Watt, and it was like they still got a field goal. Like because he kept coming back to it like it wasn't third down and they weren't on the 15. Like it wasn't like they were in first and goal, second, third and goal. They were already still. They needed to make a couple more plays to get to a touchdown.
But still
Right.
a big play.
But
it
I
was a
don't-
big
but I
play,
don't-
but they got points out of it.
But
It's
it's
a
not
big play
so
that
much.
a non-garbage quarterback doesn't take.
But it's not. I don't. We'll get to that. But I don't think it's just so much that he got sacked and stopped the touchdown that led to a field goal. Who it was did matter to that.
It helped that team.
To that crowd, to that stadium, to that team.
Yeah.
Who it was when they were like, because that's all they were watching.
Yeah.
They're like, is this the same guy that we had all this time? And understand, this is a guy who, for about 2 years, he's a superstar. Like, he was the only guy on that team. And
he played
carried that
one of
franchise.
the best defensive games against the Bills I've ever seen in my life, to where I felt like he was involved in every play. He hit the quarterback 9 times in one game, in an NFL game.
That's insane.
He was stopping runs on the other side of the field.
Yeah, and he's not in shape.
He's not in football shape, no.
Let's just say that.
And
He can't be.
The injury he has, it's supposed to be, 2.5 months to recover. 2 to 2.5 months to recover.
Yeah.
And 4 months of rehab.
Yeah.
So basically, his rehab is playing actual football.
Now.
This is his rehab. I know it'll get it back in working order. I'm just gonna play actual professional football.
And Alexander looked at that and said, "Hey, I can do that too then, because I'm actually bigger than this guy."
I don't know about bigger.
Bigger than J.J. Watt?
Well,
Bigger than
I think
J.J.
he's a little
Watt.
more.
He's not bigger than J.J. Watt. He's a linebacker. But
J.J. Watt's a big dude.
But you know what he
But
doesn't have to
listen.
do? He doesn't have to fight off offensive linemen every single play like
Not every play.
like J.J. Watt does.
Yeah.
You, Alexander, coming back this week. We'll
Andy
get to
Ford
that,
coming
man.
back.
We'll get to that.
We'll talk about that soon. Okay, but Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen a horrible quarterback, and did he choke like no one else in the fourth quarter?
Listen,
I
I ain't seen an athlete choke that bad since Aaron Hernandez. Josh Allen is garbage.
He said it earlier.
I can't stand him. He was bad at Wyoming. He was inaccurate at Wyoming. And I don't want to hear this garbage like, oh, his receivers weren't that good. He still was like hovering around 50% completion percentage in college. I don't get it. I don't understand.
I don't want to hear about
Can
it.
we-
Receivers aren't that good when literally he had a wide open dude 7 feet in front of him and he threw 40 yards downfield to his 300-pound fullback.
Yes.
Don't talk to me.
Because that's Josh Allen.
That
That's
was
what he does
unfortunate.
all
That was
year.
an unfortunate move.
And it's also horrible team construction around him because he has like a lineup of slot receivers when the one thing he does all the time is sail balls over dude's head. I want the tallest receiver possible in the draft.
The thing with that is that I don't think there is a way to put the right type of team around him. They did it this way because they had a bunch of guys who were tall guys last year, who were downfield guys last year, and they were like, what's the point? He's throwing 48%. He's sailing them all the time. At least this way, if we get guys who are getting open 3 yards away, maybe he'll throw a short pass.
But he still can't. He still can't, Kareem.
That's what I'm saying. There is no the team structure around him is great. There's just no way to structure a team around a guy who you cannot confidently call a pass play for.
And he caught the first touchdown of the game.
Yes, that's the way to use him. It's only athleticism. Because, I mean, you
And
get
he's
him to
very
the
athletic.
outside.
He's a very athletic
big,
guy.
He can run. But as we have discussed,
And
he
I'm
is
sorry.
really the stereotypes that they put on black quarterbacks.
Exactly.
And taking those 2 sacks, I'm sorry. I know you don't agree with this.
Those 2
Quarterbacks
sacks were the worst.
You cannot.
No, those were horrible.
take-
Those are
the worst.
unexcusable.
I was talking to someone else then that
Yeah.
was like really.
Those are
like,
inexcusable.
That's what quarterbacks do. No,
those are
You have
inexcusable.
to get the ball away
He
and out.
he ran backwards for 15 yards. Like he
They
wasn't
lost-
like he took a 30-step drop. He
They
took
lost
he took
30.
a 5-step
I
drop.
believe it was 37 yards in 2 plays. There.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
They went from 3rd and 13 to way
Which
worse.
they were in field goal position, right?
How?
Weren't
Yeah.
they in field goal
Yeah.
position?
No, they were
He got
they
them
were
out of field goal
right.
position.
They were right at the edge of field
If
goal.
his
for him.
name, as I've said before, was Jamal Allen, people would be questioning his decision making and if he had the mental makeup to play quarterback.
No, very true.
People will be,
I can't-
People will be
can't-
saying, why can't he be a wide receiver?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Put him at tight end.
Yeah.
Maybe they should put him at tight end, actually.
Look,
I
look,
think
Here's the
he'd
thing,
be a
and-
good
and-
tight
And it's
end.
like I said before to Dave, he gets credit that I don't even see white quarterbacks get.
I don't get it.
There's white quarterbacks who are like, Psh, you wouldn't let me get away with that.
People are dying to praise this. And
I'll say this.
Booker was
want to be
acting
wrong
like
so
he
bad.
played a great game. He didn't play a great game.
All right, Josh.
Okay. All right. 2 things. First, yes, Dave. If he was a black quarterback, we would. Well, not we, but the media would. Hey, like he should be switching positions. Hey, he doesn't make good decision making. And you would start to hear all those normal buzzwords of, oh, I don't know if he's smart enough to take on this offense, or you'd hear those kinds of things. And that's unfair. That's
and he's
unfair.
not smart enough. He is dumb as a rock.
That's unfair. That's unfair for anybody.
He's Kyle Bowler.
That's unfair.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good name. But look,
He's Kyle Bull. Never mind.
My thing is this.
Bull-evil?
This is what I'll say. He had 264 yards on. He was a little above 50%.
A little above.
A little above.
Congratulations.
A little above.
How many passes he missed?
He took three sacks, and two of them were the really
Were
bad sacks.
devastating.
The one sack was J.J. Watt, and J.J. Watt came in pretty clean. It wasn't a it's a sack. It happens. He also had 92 yards, and he had a 42-yard run, and he also had a run of 30 yards.
That's where he's good.
He can run.
But
we won't
played,
deny that.
yeah,
Yes, he could run.
Because he's a running back.
But
He's a running back.
but like, look. You made the comment in the group, and I will bring it up.
Go for
that
it.
you would take Timothy Richard
Tebow, absolutely.
over Josh Allen. I told you
That's
that
not
was
quite what he-
blasphemy.
That's not quite what he said. He said Tim Tebow's more accurate than him.
Well, okay.
Yes.
He said, okay.
That's even just hogwash. Tim Tebow was double
How
bouncing
much
passes
Josh
to
Allen
wide
have you
open
watched?
people.
Because I can
I'm
guarantee you I've
telling
watched
you,
more.
you have not watched him
You've
enough.
you've definitely watched him more. He's your quarterback, but I can tell you I watched Tim Tebow a lot, and Tim Tebow was throwing ducks or he was throwing ground balls like he was playing baseball. That's what Tim Tebow
Oh, no.
did.
Josh Allen passes look amazing as they're sailing 35 yards out of bounds.
When people say he makes throws that other people can't make, he literally makes throws that nobody else has ever
and
made.
he doesn't pass the ball, and that's the problem. As a quarterback, you need to pass, not
You
throw.
have to
not
pass.
throw.
Oh, no.
So
and
he throws the ball.
But people get captivated by the times that he actually connects because that ball gets to a place that it shouldn't be able to get to.
Right.
However, most of the time, that ball gets to a place that's called the seventh row.
Yeah, and here's another thing. And you know what? And you are really good at this. You're always leaving out some of the important stuff. Yeah.
Hey, I'm really good at it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So are we not going to talk about the fumbles? Are we not going to talk about the fact that this man lateraled 10 yards away?
That was bad.
Horrible.
10
That
yards
was-
away from field
that
goal
was-
range with a
So,
minute
Josh,
to
that
go.
was bad.
those are the major mistakes I'm talking about.
That
That's
was bad.
That's what makes him not a good quarterback.
That-
and you say bringing in a better coach
That-
would help that.
No.
They can't get a
They
better
have a
coach.
good coach.
No, they have a
can't
good
get a better
coach. They have a good.
But a coach does not
No,
fix
no,
those
no, no.
mistakes.
No.
The sacks and that random lateral.
You-
He
you-
was lost in that fourth quarter. I've never seen anybody that scared playing a professional game
Call a
in my
timeout
life.
as a coach.
Man.
Oh, then you didn't watch their offensive coordinator trying to call plays for him. Because I
Call-
guarantee he was way more terrified
Call
than
a
him.
Well,
timeout.
because he's sitting there the whole
Try-
time
but-
because you're realizing at the end of a game that
There's
your
no- there's
quarterback,
nothing
who's
else
your
for you.
first round pick
There's nothing else for
last
you.
year, you cannot trust him to make a pass play. He is a first round pick quarterback that you have put the whole franchise on, and you can't trust him.
You can't call you can't even be like, okay, it's 1st and 10, let's get 6 yards, let's throw a slant. You cannot trust that receiver is even going to get a finger.
Let's perform an exercise here.
Yeah,
Can we
I was.
perform
I
a
was
quick exercise.
Go ahead. I was going to do
How
something.
about you
too.
guys name starting quarterbacks in the league, and let's figure out how many I would take over Josh Allen.
Colin Kaepernick.
I already know 31 quarterbacks.
I would.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
100%.
I would absolutely take him.
Year
over him.
3.
Josh McCown.
I'd think about it.
You're a damn fool.
Listen,
I like Josh McCown's performance more than
let me tell you
more than
something.
Josh Allen's.
When Josh McCown was in field goal range yesterday, at least he still got the field goal.
Yeah. He
If
didn't get
Josh,
sacked out
if
of
Josh McCown was
range.
on that Bills team
I'll ask
yesterday,
you- I'll
they
ask
would
you
have
this.
got they would have
And I was
gotten
talking about
6
starting
field goals.
quarterbacks. I'm not talking about
Backups.
dig up some corpse off the bench.
Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy ain't a starting quarterback.
Yeah, no. But he started some games this year. Colt McCoy.
I think about it.
I'll throw this water ball
I
at
will
your
tell
face.
you. I will
I
tell
am
you
done
right
with
now.
you.
Case
Colt
Keenum.
McCoy
Done
would
with Keenum.
Colt would be
McCoy
lighting up
started
passes
games
to
this
Cole
year?
Beasley
Yeah,
all day long.
He started like 3 games.
He started a game for the Redskins. Yeah, that's how bad my season was. Anyway,
Why are you
Yeah, your
telling
team
us?
is awful.
Why are you telling us
So
that like we
maybe
didn't try to tell you that in August?
Maybe I wouldn't take Colt McCoy.
Case
yeah,
Keenum.
well,
Case Keenum? Oh yeah, absolutely.
he would take
all
Case
day.
Keenum
I would
over
take Case
Dwayne
Keenum all
Haskins.
day. Dwayne Haskins.
We're just going through the Redskins
Dwayne Haskins.
starters
I have
this year.
personal hate.
Whoa.
but you'd still take him.
I would take that.
Oh, I would absolutely take Dwayne Haskins. You kidding me?
Those last 2
He'd
games.
be mad as all the way.
Dwayne Haskins can hit an open receiver.
Danny Dimes, and you have to say the name Danny Dimes.
Not if I have to say the name. No. If I don't have to say the name, without question.
And you have to say it at brunch.
You have to say that, bro.
That's a hard pass. That's a hard pass. No, I have one quarterback that I would not take, Mitchell Trubisky.
I'm so done with you. That's all right. I want these white boys to do well.
I would 100% take Trubisky over Josh Allen.
All right,
you're probably right.
I'll
He
ask
probably
you
is
this.
better.
I'll ask everybody
If
this.
he's-
Do you think that he can improve? You said all these things.
Josh
Do you think,
Allen?
Yeah. Do
How
you
could he
think that he
not?
can improve? No, but you feel like he's a lost cause, so you obviously don't even think he can improve.
See, I missed the pregame show because you compared him to Patrick Mahomes.
No,
and
that's not
Lamar
what I
Jackson.
said.
And
That's-
Lamar Jackson.
He should've
He
been-
said-
No.
He said he's
Patrick-
only in
no,
his
no.
second
He's not
year.
even Freddie
I'm like,
Jackson.
so is
No.
Lamar Jackson.
So was Lamar
Patrick
Jackson.
Mahomes only 3 years.
Matt Jones only played 2 years.
I didn't say that. I didn't
Dave.
compare them. I didn't. No, but you're saying compare like, oh yeah, he's the same as Patrick Mahomes. No, I said he's in his second year. Some people have different trajectories on their careers. Like I can be a second-year pro
Some
and be
people
a
Josh Allen's
problem.
trajectory is the ball sailing
That-
40
yeah,
yards
some people
over
have
people's
different
heads.
trajectories on their passes. Do I think he can get better?
God
Here's the
bless.
thing.
I hope Mitchell Trubisky and
No,
both of them
'cause
have
he's
become
not-
very good.
You've been saying
Listen,
that for years.
Because
They haven't.
he's not a quarterback. If they would have changed the position a long time ago, understand he never got a scholarship offer from anyone.
Put that man at tight
until
end,
Wyoming.
and I'll
What's
tell
our-
you right now, I'd be more than happy if he was
He's
the
gonna
Bills
be
tight end.
Mohamed Sanu. Like
Quan-
he's like, well, you call trick plays where you can.
What's our
where you can throw it.
timestamp right now? What's our timestamp?
We got time.
No. What's our timestamp? What is the
125.
time? 125.
Oh, so
If
you're
he
going to mark
beco-
this down.
If he becomes good,
What is good?
no, like
Because you
becomes
thought this year was good,
okay.
and it wasn't.
If he becomes a 25 to 30 touchdown passer in passing it, if he's got a quarterback rating hovering around 95
I don't care about
to
quarterback
105.
rating. Let's go with completion percentage.
Okay, completion percentage north of 62.
Go for it.
If he becomes that,
62?
He'll
if
get
he
a completion
becomes
percentage
Why
that,
don't we say
62.
1,000?
if he
It's just
becomes
as likely.
no, if he becomes that quarterback and he is functional and he is doing well, not even functional. He's he's got Asperger's. He's high functional.
Nobody's drafting a top 10 quarterback to be functional.
Okay, continue.
He's got Asperger's. He's high functioning. All right, he's a high functioning quarterback. If he's doing that,
He'll throw for 62 when the weather in Buffalo gets 62.
I just want to see your face. And I want you to chew your words.
You won't see my face
You know
because my
him.
head will have exploded by then because this is so out of the realm
It's
of possibility.
ridiculous. He's not. Here's the thing. I want to know what you consider being, what you consider having a good year, being a good quarterback. Because I just-
That
depends,
defense
it depends
had
on
a
what
hernia
you
from
Go ahead.
carrying that
He
man
is-
all year long.
he is
I mean,
JP
not
Lossman.
lying.
Like
Light?
honestly,
He's that light?
like honestly, he might actually be gone in 2 to 3 years. The only problem is what I'm seeing out of the media about him. Like they really want him to be good so bad that
I don't
it just
get it.
might buy him extra years. Because again, they're over this dude more than they love Andrew Luck, like more than they love John Elway. If Andrew Luck or John Elway played like him, the media would have been like, "Oh man, this was a wasted pick."
You really feel like people are like that much in love with him?
They
It's
really
crazy.
are. It's
I've never
People
I
attribute
don't-
so much
I'm
success to
telling
him.
it's even
because
more than
he's
white
got-
quarterbacks.
he's-
I don't get it.
He's tall. He can run. He can move around. He's got a cannon. People are dying to anoint him as this great quarterback
People
that he is not.
I think.
What if he does
I
become
think
it,
people
though?
really want him to be good because people really want Buffalo to be
Yeah,
good.
like I listen, I watched the Four Falls of Buffalo on Sunday and I
Josh,
was like
what if Daniel Snyder all of a sudden became a good at hiring
Yeah.
people to run teams?
not looking good.
So, I mean, we could talk about things that aren't going to happen all day long, can't we?
That's very true. Hey, I can't fight you on that. If you bringing it home to me, I can't kick
But
you
when
out.
it's all said and done, I think Dave picked Buffalo to win 4 games this year. He kept saying that they were going to be
I
one of
was
the worst
not
teams in
prepared.
the league.
I thought their defense would be good. I did not realize how good. I think their defense this whole year was
It
phenomenal.
was amazing.
And
they had an
Sean
amazing
Mc-
defense.
To the
and Sean
record- for the
McDermott is
record,
amazing.
McDermott is a fantastic coach.
Good
Devin
coach.
Singletary in the backfield, I like a lot.
Very
the fact
good
that Frank
rookie.
Gore was still getting carries, I also have problems with that.
That's
Retire
a-
Frank
that-
Gore.
that's what I was gonna
don't want to
say.
see you anymore. You're done.
Man, don't
First of
yell
all,
at
don't
Frank.
blaspheme.
Don't ever
you
yell
watch
at
your
Frank.
mouth.
Don't
But
ever yell at
that's
Frank.
one thing I was gonna say about McDermott.
I'll
Like
say what I want.
Don't yell at Frank Gore. Don't yell at Frank Peanut.
I don't understand how.
I would never do the second.
I don't understand
but
how
the first I'm doing.
in the playoffs. Don't be mad at Sean. Don't be mad at Frank Gore. I don't understand. Singletary was hot. He was the hot hand.
Yeah.
And
They rode him.
couldn't stop him.
They rode him pretty good.
That's your boy's cousin, by
But
the
in
way.
the second half,
that's Sonny's.
Sonny's
But
cousin.
he's got a lot of cousins.
Shout
so
out to Sonny.
one of those days.
But in the second half, like they had that one play. It was like second down or third down, on and they gave the ball to Frank Gore instead of Singletary.
My Kirk cousin.
That's where McDermott can kind of take a little bit of blame for it.
Look, I'll say this. I wish that they do well for Dave, and also to make Dave smile begrudgingly as he has a constipated look on his
Joshua,
face. I want that.
just
for him.
real quick, considering it's college.
Oh God, you're bringing up college stats.
Yeah. His
He was
stats.
just there.
His
not 2
last
years
year,
ago.
before he was drafted, by the way, at the University of Wyoming,
Okay.
he played 11 games,
All right.
56.3 completion percentage.
Okay, that's not good for college.
in the Mountain
No.
West.
That's not good for
In
life.
the Mountain West, 16 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
But
Okay.
I have to put someone on blast that's in this room right now because we are sitting there at the NBA Summer League talking about our team, and somebody said, and this is Josh Allen's junior year, that they wanted Josh Allen, and that's Cream,
Oh yeah,
as our quarterback.
I said that, and then I watched him play his senior year, and I was like,
He changed his mind.
Oh God!
"Yikes!"
Thank God Jimmy G came.
Woof. I said,
That's
oh,
before the tweets.
That's so true.
Before the tweets.
That is so true. At first, I was like, "What's he talking about? When did this happen?"
Now we were sitting
I was
there
like,
in Summer
"This the
League.
guy." Listen, at the time he was a junior.
Yeah.
Juniors can improve. Juniors can learn how to throw. A
Seniors.
sophomore in the NFL by now. I'm sorry, man.
Look, again, I think I don't know. I like when coaches try to find ways to make things work around their talent. Josh Allen, because that was my issue with Jay Gruden when he first got there with RG3. RG3, he can't learn this, he can't, but he still can do a lot of great things. The reason that Andy Reid is a great coach is because Andy Reid always will change. He has morphed so many different times over the course of his career. He went from Donovan McNabb that can move to, okay, well, now I got Nick Foles. Nick Foles can't move, so now we have to run these kind of plays. A good coach in the NFL, and a good coach, period, makes the most out of what he has. So if I have something and you can't necessarily throw like this, I love that they were doing different kinds of runs and different kinds of things. That is exciting to me.
But I'm not
That's
mad
different.
at watching those plays.
Yeah, that's
but
different.
It's the throwing plays that you can't.
And
I mean, at some point you got to throw.
And
You
then-
got
but
exactly.
See,
That
that's
is what
the
it
issue. My problem with Josh Allen is, and this is the problem I had with them drafting him so high coming out of college, is for me the biggest thing about college players that seems to travel to the modern NFL. I'm not talking about the old school days. Modern right now, you throw all the time. Is accuracy travels.
Yeah.
Accuracy seems to carry over.
If you're inaccurate in college, you usually are
there are
inaccurate.
throws you have to be able to make, granted. So I'm not talking about some weak arm quarterback, just dump off. I'm talking about like accuracy, and you can get the ball where it needs to go.
And you
he
can
was
throw
not
people
accurate in a small conference in college where the windows are gigantic. How in the world is he going to be accurate in the NFL?
Especially when they said, well, he'll know better how to throw in the cold because it's Buffalo. He was just in the cold, and he couldn't throw. He's just in Wyoming is cold. It's just
Very,
just
very
cold.
cold.
As Buffalo.
Very
So,
brutally cold.
No, him being in the cold, he can whip the ball through the wind. This
He can.
is your scouting report.
He can do that, but that doesn't mean he gets it to where he's trying
And
to
I will
get
say
it to.
this about like what you were saying about the RG3 thing. Mike Shanahan changed his entire offense. Kyle changed the entire offense for him. Yeah, that is true. But there are certain basic things you have to be able to do. And RG3 couldn't do the basic stuff, and you can't change your offense around that much to where it's unrecognizable, because at the same time, these are big playbooks, and if RG3 has to learn it, and the left guard has to learn it.
Yeah,
there's
but you don't just throw your hands up when you have talent and say, "Oh, I can't get
But
to
hold
this
on,
guy, or
Kareem-
he can't run my stuff."
Kareem,
So,
by the way,
the entire league.
that's
had a chance to take him, and
that's
they
a
didn't.
very fair point. But at the same time, RG3 is a far better prospect than Josh Allen.
Way better. Yeah. But
you understand what I'm saying? And they were like,
right.
"All right, well, I don't want you anymore," and they ran him out of town.
And he
Like,
but they didn't just run him out of town.
Well, they kind of hobbled him out of town because he couldn't run anymore.
Nobody else wanted him. It's not just that he was ran out of town. It's that other teams also looked at that tape and was like, I don't know what we can do with this.
That's why he's in the best
he's
possible
not
spot for himself right now.
And that's
as a
another
backup.
thing too. If his best attribute is running that option, and now his knee's blown to shreds. So now you can't run the option.
Can't do the
So
same thing.
you can't work your team around that. So same thing with Josh Allen. Let's call it what it is. His number 1, number 2, number 3 attribute is that he's actually a running back and he can run.
Yeah.
Throwing is like 4th or 5th. What happens if he
I guess. Well,
blows his knee out?
I
or
guess
gets
my
hit too much.
my
gets
issue.
concussion.
I know that we have to move on. I guess my biggest issue with the whole RG3 fiasco was whenever they would run Kirk Cousins out, they would run a certain package of plays with Kirk that made Kirk look so much better, and like RG3 would never get those plays, but he would get them sometimes and he would execute them. But then like they would just they just wouldn't run. They'd run certain plays for him, and then Kirk would come in, and it's like, I've seen these plays with RG3 being run, but then you don't run them now.
But that was also the worst thing they did to RG3 anyway. The way they drafted Kirk Cousins so close after drafting RG3, where
in
you
the 4th
drafted,
round,
he's the franchise.
Yeah.
And Kirk Cousins was a pro-ready type
That's
quarterback.
because they didn't want him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they wanted Tannehill.
They didn't.
They wanted Tannehill.
They wanted Tannehill, and after that, they were going to wait. They wanted to wait on Kirk Cousins, and they had again. Snyder decided that he was going to make them draft RG3.
Yeah,
and so they were like, "Okay, well, if this doesn't work, this is still my job on the line. You made this draft pick." Now it's just like when I was telling somebody the other day with the Jason Garrett thing, and the one thing where I will say about Jason Garrett, which is unfair. Well, I was talking to you guys.
Yeah.
When they were like, "Hey, it's your last year. You have to prove you can coach." By the way, you can't call plays.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Like,
Wait,
so what do you mean?
What am I supposed to do here?
I don't
Should
do
I
anything.
go? You go? Something's got to be done.
I don't do anything.
And to call play, I mean, I don't even
Did
know
you get
how
that?
Kellen Moore
Did you
could
get
get
that? Should I
plays
go?
out
You
past
did?
those teeth.
Yeah.
Wow. Man's got a lot of teeth.
Moving on. Let's go to the next.
So
thing.
that's the games that happened this week. The wild card.
I also said a worse teeth comment before we started.
he had a good one.
Very, very exciting wild card games. Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about some coaches right now. I know Josh got his coach, and Cowboys fired Jason Garrett finally, or just didn't renew his contract.
No, not finally.
They didn't.
I'm mad about that.
Yeah.
I wanted
am
him
too.
to have a job for life.
lifetime
Oh,
job.
It's okay. They brought in McCarthy.
They bring in Mike
I
McCarthy.
agree with you.
fine.
I don't think he's good either.
Mike McCarthy's
I don't
won a
think he's
championship.
horrible.
He's not horrible. He has proven that he can win.
He's horrible and dumb, but he might be a good fit for Dak.
No, actually, I think their better fit was the other coach that I think they only interviewed for the Rooney Rule. I think if Marvin Lewis was there, I would have been more scared. I think Marvin Lewis would have been a better coach for that team.
That would have been. I would say this. That'd be more talent than Marvin Lewis ever had at one time.
The best.
Can we say
They'd
that?
be more talent than a lot of coaches have had at one
the
time.
best coach that actually they could have gotten was Ron Rivera. They should have never ever let Washington outbid them for Ron Rivera.
Nope.
Should have never. But I mean, veteran
Washington
guy
swooped
been
in
there.
quick. They were not messing around at all.
And I can only assume the only way that Ron Rivera would have taken that job is they must have offered him the whole "I'm staying out of your hair. This is your team."
We'll see.
Which I'm sure it's not the first time they told
Well, hold on.
anybody.
They're not hiring a GM till after the draft, so he's clearly in control.
Yeah.
Which is good. I like that.
And you're right, and you have to understand that Ron Rivera's probably heard these horror stories before,
Yeah.
more than we know.
Oh
And
God.
he still decided, I'm gonna take this shot with you because I'm running the ship.
And Cowboys also hired a former 49er coach who I like a lot.
Mike
actually.
Nolan.
Mike Nolan is
Yeah.
defensive coordinator.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't realize he's 60.
He looks
Okay.
young.
Yeah, he looked
60
young for
Well,
years.
you gotta understand.
He's 60. I saw that earlier. I was like, Jesus.
You gotta understand. He was the Niners coach in 2005.
I know.
It's been 15 years.
That's
He was
crazy.
definitely in his 40s then.
Yeah, like that's that man. I was like, I guess he's been up in the booth a
I
long
mean,
time.
We're in
and I
our
see-
40s and late 30s, bro. So
I was going to say black
true.
don't crack, but it doesn't apply here.
That's it. Well,
Definitely doesn't apply.
No, Mike Nolan's white.
Yeah, it doesn't apply.
But I also haven't seen him. I haven't seen him in. He's been. In,
I don't
he's
think
been in
that
the
changes,
booth.
Josh.
Well, sometimes.
obviously,
Michael Jackson.
No, that is yeah. He
I haven't
took-
seen him in a while either.
Nope. Gone too soon?
Joke too soon?
Never.
wow, beat it, guys.
Go ahead, keep going. Move on to the next.
Rivera, I like him. I like that pickup. Who are Giants going to pick up? Now, if they pick up Jason Garrett and he ends up doing good,
That is
God.
a conspiracy floated by the many Cowboy fans out there that
Oh.
they wish
I'd love
But no,
that.
they're interviewing.
I feel like
they're
Jerry
interviewing
started
Matt Rule from Baylor, and they're interviewing Josh McDaniels, both for 2 days
Josh
apiece.
McDaniels. I think this is the year he does leave New England.
Oh yeah,
I don't.
because the bloom's off the rose, because you saw when he didn't have a bunch of weapons around, his play calling did not seem that fantastic.
And listen, and we can talk about the weapons of New England all we want. Philly went 8-8 with everybody decimated.
Yeah,
9-7.
100%.
9-7.
9-7.
yeah.
With everybody
Even better.
decimated. Even better.
Not much.
New England, at least they still had their first round draft pick, their wide receiver.
Yeah.
They still had their
Was
Pro
he
Bowler
even
and
playing in
Edelman.
the end? I know he was hurt. For a long
N'Keal
time.
Harris, he was playing.
He didn't play. I mean, he wasn't doing anything. Wow.
No, he never figured out a way to get the ball
He's
to
who
him.
they threw the ball to on the pick six.
Oh,
to
wow.
end the game.
Wow. That's crazy. He really never.
Well,
got
N'Keal Harry,
going
they
at
never
all.
got anything figured out with him. Mohamed Sanu was a disaster.
Yeah, he was, and that I thought was gonna be like, oh, okay, good. They got somebody.
I
They
never thought Mohamed Sanu was a
You really?
Great.
You didn't. I thought he was at least a good veteran receiver. Like he could go
I
do
thought he
his
was
job.
better than what they had.
Yeah,
Listen,
for sure.
I watched when Chad Ochocinco went there, and they all had problems because whatever it is that's complicated about that playing receiver there,
Cincinnati.
in New England,
Yeah.
whatever
yes,
it is that's complicated about playing there and how Tom Brady likes things, I've just never seen a receiver go in their midfield and do anything. It's just and they always talk about how
That
they
is
can't
true,
pick up on
actually.
the offense. That's what they always talk about. So
Trying
I
to
never,
think.
I think the only one that would have it would have been
No,
just shortly.
Hogan was a scrap heap pickup, and then all of a sudden he was
That's
he
going
different,
to
but
work.
didn't
he
go in the
wasn't a
middle of the
mid-season. It was mid-season trade.
I-
he had all off season.
No. I feel like he was like a
No.
he wasn't a
From
pickup.
who? From
No.
who?
No, from the streets.
Well, from the streets after he bombed out in Buffalo.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't.
Oh, sorry.
All right, that's fine.
And-
You weren't, but it's all right.
I really didn't mean to push play, but hey, it's a sign. Maybe God pushed play for us.
Todd's gonna love that he skipped right over that Giants coaching thing. He's gonna love it.
But I mean, I think they'll throw the money at Rule, because I think Rule's the
they
hottest
should.
candidate out there.
I think they should. And who's the other
Do
team that still needs a coach? Just four, isn't there? Carolina.
The Browns?
Carolina.
Oh
Carolina
wow,
needs
there's more
coach.
than that. Carolina, the
Browns.
Browns.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe McDaniels goes Carolina.
I think the Browns.
I feel
I
like
think he goes to the
I
Browns.
feel like
the
the
Browns would be
Browns would be
interesting.
better for him. I don't. That might be another one of those things where Belichick says, "Ugh, wouldn't do that if I were you."
Yeah, because I mean, remember Romeo Crennel left after that first New England run and went to the Browns.
Although following Freddie Kitchens, man, is there a better person to follow as
No,
a
there
coach?
isn't.
You're going to come in, you're going to look
like the
Bill
Messiah.
Walsh and Tom Landry had
we
a
got
baby.
a caller live on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's Chris. I'm calling from Jerry's Nugget.
Chris from Jerry's Nugget. What's up, bro?
I'm on Uber going home, and yeah, just pop in, see what the show's about tonight.
Yes, sir. We're just talking about the coaches, the hires and fires in the NFL right now before we jump into the NBA.
Okay, that's cool. I think I heard you talking about the receivers from New England who's never been successful there. Randy Moss was pretty good.
But
Randy
that's not
Moss-
mid-season.
I
No,
said
not
mid-season. Randy Moss.
Mid-season, yeah, well, it's hard for
And-
mid-season
and Randy
receiver
Moss
to
is
come
one-
and
Right, but
making it
my whole thing was when they brought in Sanu.
hard new offense and all that.
Yeah, it was
Disaster.
brand new offense. But here's a little difference with Randy Moss. Here's what you might have heard this before. You don't have to call a lot of plays for Randy Moss.
He runs one
there's,
route.
Nine.
There's not right. There's
Nine.
There's not a lot of nuance when you get Randy Moss. You don't know what play to run?
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
well, you know what to do. It's a little
run.
different.
Yeah, they say whatever the normal play call is, and Randy, go.
Yeah.
Randy, go be you.
It's funny that it's funny you're talking about because our offensive coordinator at Miami was Chad O'Shea, and he was the guy who was coaching New England for 10, 12 years. And we fired O'Shea for the artifact known as Chad Bailey. And we got rid of O'Shea because our players were griping that the scheme was too complex. So he brought the same scheme from New England down to Miami, and we could have taken it down to Miami. So it might be a coaching thing, like you were talking about.
Yeah, and I wonder sometimes if
I mean,
it's,
how's that? I mean, Chan Gailey, though, really? Chan Gailey's like 87 years old.
I was
He
going to say
running
90.
offensive plays.
Chan Gay's old.
He was running offensive plays during the first depression. He was running plays for our red
Dude, they wore
base.
leather helmets when Chan Gailey started calling
Yeah.
Oh
plays.
my God, Chan Gailey. Listen,
There were
Chan
no
Gailey was
headsets.
Listen, let me tell you how old Chan Gailey is. Name one other person in the history of your life named Chan. History of life named Chan. And no, you cannot use the people who are on the Titanic.
Wow.
You can't look at the.
Oh, wow.
There's nobody named Chan in your life that
Oh,
you've ever
my
met.
goodness. That's too funny.
I ain't got one.
Chandler.
I mean,
Chandler Bing.
It's Ms. Chandler.
Chandler
Chandler Stevenson.
Chandler Bong.
Chandler Stevenson. Vegas Golden
Chandler
Knights.
Parsons? How about Chandler
Chandler
Parsons?
Parsons.
And
Yeah,
guess
that's
what?
true.
They're not old enough to go by Chan. They're still
Yeah.
like
Jackie.
Chandler's better.
hey, Chan Parsons, come in. Him like,
That's
it's
Chandler.
Thanks.
My
Jackie
name's
Chan.
Actually, it's Ms. Chandler Parsons.
You know Chandler Parsons is still getting paid in the NBA?
Damn right, he
Getting
deserves
paid?
it.
He is and can't get off the bench in Atlanta.
Nah, literally, his knees are too bad.
That man's agent
Yeah, you're going to say. Yeah.
deserves a fruit basket
That
every
dude's
month.
Agent is
Fruit basket.
a fruit basket. You just made me $140 million.
Yeah,
Fruit
he's
basket. Fruit basket.
he's been hanging out with Instagram models, making a ton of money. I don't really cry for Chandler Parsons when I go to sleep at night.
Fruit
It's like,
basket.
oh, the
Last
poor
time I heard
plight of Chandler Parsons.
Also, never forget James Harden
What?
took Chandler Parsons to the playoffs. That's all.
Oh,
Wowzers.
last time I heard Chandler Parsons was backing down that Todd Chrisley's daughter a few months ago.
Whose
From
daughter?
Chrisley Knows Best.
Whose daughter?
I think he said
Todd
that
Chrisley,
Chrisley
you
dude,
know, that
the
reality show on...
the show that you get all the
Oh.
commercials for during wrestling.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I know that. Because he was playing commercial all the return on Monday Night Raw.
Oh my God.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for the
Hey,
call,
well,
man. And
well, Rumble's coming up, Kareem. We got the Rumble, Kareem. Who you want to win?
Who I got
WrestleMania. I know you
in the Rumble?
Yeah, who you got, Kareem? Who do you want to see headline
When's the Rumble?
WrestleMania?
Rumble's gonna be tough. 26th. It's my favorite day of the year.
26.
Kareem, you off?
Rumble's your favorite one?
Favorite day of the year.
It's Sunday, right? Of course it's Sunday. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Come
off
on,
on
Kareem.
Sunday.
Kareem, you're watching the Rumble with us.
We're
this year.
watching the Rumble.
I'll watch it. Come on,
I'll be
guys.
in LA.
You're gonna
Yeah,
enjoy
Kareem.
the Rumble game, Kareem. I will explain it to you off air.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. The 26th?
Yeah.
What's this week?
It's not during. It's always the week in between.
Not next week.
It's always the week in between, Kareem.
No,
You
it's
been
always
have
the
to-
week in between.
Rumble-
You been have to
Rumble
cancel
Sunday.
my Pro Bowl date? Oh man.
Oh,
Oh,
shucks.
Gee
Willikers.
Joints.
You
So who you got,
won't get to see
Kareem?
Kittle in the Pro Bowl.
Well, yeah, none of the 49ers are going to be in the Pro Bowl.
It's true.
Or all
Yeah, because that'll be on the
No,
Super
they
Bowl.
won't.
Gang,
Yeah,
gang.
Yeah.
I don't know. Give me some time to
Dang
think.
it.
Give me some time to think about it. I'll give my Rumble
That's
winner.
a tough one this year.
Ooh, yeah, who you want to play? Because you know Brock Headline Mania.
Chris, why don't you do a wrestling podcast
That's a-
on Gorilla Cross Radio?
Great idea.
Oh, as long as I can get Kareem to be my call.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Find a day of the
come
week.
back.
I'm in there. I'm in there for that.
So I guess I didn't.
I love wrestling.
No, wrestling's
Yeah, y'all
great.
didn't know.
We just... Oh, AEW?
AEW is okay.
If you talk
NXT is
about
where it's at.
AEW, that's pretty. That's
Yeah,
pretty
and we'll talk
impressive.
about that on your podcast. So thanks for the call.
All right, Chris.
Have a good
Thanks
night.
for having us.
Bye.
All right, Chris, thanks for calling, bro.
What are they?
Serial killer.
That's what it is. Serial killer, Chris. Right? That's what
Yeah,
they call him
serial
on
C.
LTB.
Serial
I
killer.
don't like that.
Oh, he looks like a serial killer.
Oh, he
Serial
does.
killer.
He knows it.
Don't call me that.
He
No,
knows it.
he's fine with it. He kills
gets it.
people.
All right. Yeah. Till
He's fine.
Till
He's
you're
murdered
next.
a lot of people. Okay.
Till you're next.
Fine.
That,
According,
that mess was
no, we
funny
get
until he's
along.
like at your house, like
I've never once heard
We
him
get
say.
along.
I've never once heard him say, "Whoa, not enough victims." Actually, it's just mass murderer, Chris. No, he's steered into it.
oh my god, yeah, that mess is funny till somebody's at your door and it's like, hey, there's nobody else
I mean,
here.
if he shows up, then we know what it's for. So at least I'm prepared.
It's too late.
It's too late. It is too late.
The bag, he's got lie in the truck.
All right, moving on to the NBA, which I love. Dave, do you love it?
You know I do. You know who doesn't love it?
Cream, if you don't turn your phone down.
I just did. That's
You
why I
know who
turned
doesn't
down,
love
so I
it?
could turn
Josh Williams.
Listen, it's all right.
He should love it. His team's actually beating good teams.
I don't
the last
like
couple
that
weeks.
at all.
And refs.
Oh, gosh.
That actually was
Can we
terrible.
talk about Isaiah?
That
The
was
game
terrible.
just started. It was like 20 seconds into the game.
That was pretty
He
bad.
gets grabbed by two people pushed. So
Gets
he puts
pushed.
He's anytime you get pushed, the first initial
He's
thing
getting
you
tossed
do
a lot this year.
when you're falling is to put your hand out.
Yeah.
And then he got fined after that. So the
That
NBA
was even
agreed
worse.
with him.
Yeah, that was even
he
worse.
Gets kicked out of the game and fined 25 or 35,000.
I thought it was 17.
17,000? I've
Semantics,
never
Josh,
heard.
semantics.
But I've never heard
Money.
of $17,000 fine.
He still got fined a car.
It was
for sure.
$17,536.28.
Josh Allen's number is 17. I'm still sad.
Wow.
You say his number or completion percentage?
Both.
Or how many yards he lost on fourth down?
Both.
More than that.
Speaking of which, we never talked about that they went for it on 4th and 20s. Okay.
Go ahead. We're
good.
talking
I'm good.
basketball and why I dislike it. But go ahead.
No, we're not talking about why you dislike it. We're talking about why we like it. Oklahoma City, your team's doing really well. Of course, the Rockets are killing it.
I believe
James
I also
Harden's
said
killing
before
it.
the season they would be a playoff caliber team.
Did you think they'd be this good, though? I
This
think when
is-
you said
this
playoff
is-
caliber, you were talking about like 8, 7, 8, 9.
I thought this is kind of in the range that they could be in. I mean, I think this is on the higher side of what I expected, but I mean, they have
They're
some
7 right
decent
now.
players there. They have a few young guys, but they have a lot of pros.
And they have
When you-
function.
But also, the Western Conference is doing a lot worse than people thought.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's just
right now, you
because
got
it's
the
a
8 seed.
bloodbath, man.
The 8 seed is 15 and 20.
Wow.
But they
So,
also, but I-
you're not going from 3 to 8 anymore.
Yeah.
To where it's a one game. You win a couple more games. You can
That's
go from
true.
8 to 3.
All it needs is a hot week.
8, you can go from 8 to 14.
yeah, I think, but aren't the top 7 all over 500?
top
Yeah,
7 are all
yeah.
over
Yeah,
500.
I don't
It's
think
just that 8
East
seed
can't
that we.
say that.
But we
East-
usually don't see that with the 8
Usually don't
seed,
see
even
it.
in the
Oh,
West.
but
Yeah.
the 8th seed in the East has a better record than the 8th seed in the West.
Right now, that's
barely.
true.
Yeah.
Who was the
By-
8th,
by
who's
one
the 8th
game.
in the East?
I don't know,
Brooklyn.
but I know
Brooklyn.
I know they got a better record.
Brooklyn, hey, you notice when
Brooklyn dropped
Brooklyn
to
is
8th.
16 and 9. Spurs are 8th in the West, 15 and 20.
No, 16 and 19.
That's what I meant. 16 and 19.
I was like, what?
Well, and you notice when Brooklyn started playing a little bit better. Of
course.
when Kyrie was out.
Yep.
What a shocker.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
Yeah, but they're not playing better now. Kyrie's out.
They're still,
They started playing better
they're-
once he was good.
They,
once he
they,
was forced out.
that ball,
for
that
about
ball moves.
for about 6 games.
It doesn't matter. Kyrie got them KD, so it doesn't matter. Next year they'll be
Yeah,
just
Next
fine.
year they'll be
hold on,
fine.
but listen, because here's
This whole thing,
Here's the thing.
this whole Brooklyn thing is for next year.
we're going to be hearing this all year about how they're doing this without Kyrie. I'm just saying, for the first 4 or 5 games, yeah, they look decent without Kyrie. Ever since then,
You hit that wall.
they have not looked good at all without Kyrie. Not at all. Now, you can't compare that to last year's team because last year's team had D'Angelo.
yeah.
to
They
go
still
with
had
these
people.
guys.
They had pieces.
Brown
But
sugar.
but this isn't a season long thing where they're playing better without Kyrie. Why is it? What is he doing? He's always getting some kind of debilitating,
Can-
long lasting injury.
Kyrie?
First off, he needs to drink milk with magnesia. That's number one.
How
Well,
you know
that-
he ain't lactose?
He'll tell you that's the devil probably. Who knows with Kyrie, man? Somebody probably told him a way to get healthy, man. It's like, nah, man, you're trying to fill my head with lies.
I'm gonna just rub my legs with these herbs
Herbs.
and see
Or
what happens.
I'm not gonna lie. I hope I never hear you say the sentence and rub my legs with these herbs ever again. Hope I just. Oh,
Fade away on that one.
Oh, man.
that ain't nothing about your perm.
Hey, nothing but herb.
Well,
Well,
Kyrie's
the juice is in there.
Kyrie's been fragile since college, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every time he leaves a team, the team usually does start playing a little bit better.
I mean,
Well,
look at
Wait,
Boston right now
wait,
this
wait,
year.
wait,
They're
wait,
the second best team.
Cleveland
in the
did not
East.
play better.
I mean, they still went to the
everybody-
finals.
No. Cleveland played better
they
the
went
next
to the
year.
finals.
They made it to the finals.
Well, they made it to the
No,
finals.
they made it to
with
the
him.
Eastern Conference Finals.
No, they made it
were
to the
actually-
finals.
The year after he was gone, they waited to the
They
finals.
went to the fin- they didn't play better. Their record was way worse. That team had no chance at all.
Way worse?
Their record was not as good.
Well, they had no chance of beating Golden State.
They had no
without
chance.
him,
That team was terrible.
but they still had the
you,
same
you
result.
think they played better with Jamal Clarkson? Come on, man.
No. But
That
Or
team
Jordan
had
Clarkson.
no
or Jordan
chance.
Clarkson or Jamal
Kelly
Mashburn.
Clarkson?
Clark Gables, Dark Gables, it
Gables'
doesn't
son.
matter.
Clark Gables.
Clark,
Sorry, gone
Clark
with the
County
wind.
Christian School.
And shout out to people still saying, "Oh, you should pick up J.R. Smith. He's not coming back to you guys."
J.R. Smith.
He won't be
Who's
in the
saying that?
J.R. Smith
ha-
is chilling playing
They
golf.
have J.R.
with
Smith.
his
He
brother
plays
Chris.
quarterback for the Bills.
Can't even deny that,
Am
really.
I wrong?
Dave. But I mean, at least Oklahoma City's doing good.
Hey, I am happy for that. Shea
And not even that, like
Alexander,
I'm
that's my boy
surprised.
right now.
I'm surprised that Chris Paul fed into this and decided, like, hey, I'm just going to keep playing. I'm going to be professional.
Listen, I'm not
He's
a
playing
fan
well.
of Chris Paul, but he is a
He's-
pro.
He's killing it this year.
And
And
he's
Chris
doing
Paul
good.
will always play hard.
And he
But you
killing
do.
it?
Well,
No, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is killing it.
yeah. No, Chris Paul's playing
he's still
really well.
He's still
Yeah.
just doing really good.
Yeah,
he
he's
got
still
hurt
Chris
yet.
Paul.
But I think he also knows
He hasn't
that
torn a hamstring.
eventually he is going to get traded. Eventually, this thing is going to happen where some team.
Not this year.
Maybe not this year.
Definitely not
But
this year.
there's going to be a team that's going to be like, I mean, because if you went to like Milwaukee, you could just cancel,
Oh, my
cancel
Lord.
Christmas. It's
Oh,
over.
my God.
Yeah, that would be it. There are certain teams.
Could you imagine the upgrade of Eric Bledsoe
Yeah.
to Chris
There are
Paul?
people who are Laker fans who really who don't like Chris Paul. I'm telling you now, Chris
I'm
Paul.
gonna take Chris
if
Paul.
Chris Paul
Come
went to
on.
the,
16 and
if
7.
Chris Paul went to the Lakers, it's over. It is over. They'd win it all. Done. No one would
Easily.
No one would touch
I
them.
don't think. Who would
no
debate
one would
that?
touch them.
Who would debate that? Because Chris
There
Paul is
are
still.
guys who are like,
Chris Paul is
"I
still.
don't want those
this is one of them,
hamstrings."
evidently. I can see from the look on his face.
Joshua would.
Joshua would what? Be wrong? You were absolutely right.
Hey.
I'm
I'll
telling you right
ask
now.
you this.
I'm gonna take
Well,
Chris
here.
Paul.
I'll put it to you just like this, and just off of your argument. Has he proven to be a winner to this point in his career?
Has he had LeBron James
To an-
and
has he-
Anthony
thank
Davis?
you, right?
To
Exactly.
an extent, but
He's
also
proven.
First
Well,
of all-
wait.
I'm answering your
wasn't-
question. Answer your question.
Well, I wasn't- I wasn't-
Has
it
he
was
proven to be a
more-
winner?
Yeah, all right,
His
go ahead.
numbers as value over replacement player
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like top 5 of all time. So yes, he has proven to be a winner in the playoffs.
But say all that being
he's
said,
not like he's John Wall or
yeah,
anything.
Anyway, all that being said, he's been known to grind on players and bother players. Now, in a situation where Chris Paul walks into a tailor-made situation like the Lakers are right now, grinding or those kinds of things, you aren't. It's not like you've had me since training camp and
Yeah.
I've been bothering you for the last 8-9
I
months.
can't believe I'm about to do this,
You know what
Josh.
I'm
Right?
I can't believe it. Here it comes. I'm about to defend Chris Paul. Let's look at the mental makeup of the players that he's ground
I
on.
was just getting ready to say that. Thank you so much.
Blake,
Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Hold on.
DeAndre?
It gets better. Keep going.
James Harden.
James Harden gets better. Keep going.
I mean, look at the guys who,
And what have those players turned into once Chris Paul left?
except for
They've
James.
all had career years
Since he left,
since he was not as
James Harden was great
their
before he
teammate
got
anymore.
there, and he was very
He's
good
averaging
when he was
almost
there.
40 a game. Is what
Yeah.
he was before this.
averaged almost
and that's
40
what he's
last
doing
year.
right now.
Correct.
He's averaging more. But what I'm telling you is, yes, he graded on them, but I can promise you when those players retire, they look back and they will probably be like, man, Chris Paul is probably right because he actually did get things out of them that they didn't think they had in themselves. Now, did it get annoying to a point where it's like, oh my God, you're really gonna
We
really
have to
gonna
listen to this guy all the
bark
time.
like
in October?
every single mistake? But it helped those players fine tune their game. Like Chris
Except DeAndre.
Paul, DeAndre had. Well, listen, he had good season for DeAndre. I didn't say they had
That's
career
fair.
years for everybody, but for DeAndre,
Yeah.
what was DeAndre when we first saw him?
No-
he was nothing but
Yeah.
lobs, and he was just out there just running and jumping.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What
else.
did Charles Barkley say about DeAndre? I lock you in the
He said
gym,
put him in the gym
overnight. They said you
overnight.
can't dunk.
That's why he can't dunk.
He'd have
He'd have 2
two
points when you
baskets.
open the gym up.
And Blake Griffin looks like he's having surgery again.
He's
I mean,
finished.
I think his
That's
career
it.
is
He's
sad.
finished. But
That's very sad.
last year he was
He was very
he
good
was
last year.
he was
He was
phenomenal
a,
last
he was
year.
a warrior.
Changed his whole game too.
But you wonder though, him coming back for the playoffs, is that what's
That boy was out there with one leg.
Well, with
one leg?
and by the way,
he was still hooping.
him coming back in the playoffs
Against Giannis.
to get destroyed was
Losing
there
by
was no
30
point.
a game.
But
There was no
that's
point.
that's the thing, man. And so Kevin Durant ain't the only person social media affects. He's probably been hearing he saw for almost 10 years now,
Yeah.
and hearing it from other players, and hearing he's injury prone, and
He just is.
when you're 260 pounds, all muscle, and can jump through the sky, you probably think you're invincible. I can play through this. I'll be back next year.
Yeah.
Injury
But, I mean,
bug don't lie.
his rookie year, he missed the whole year. I mean, so it's
The knees.
it's sad seeing that because he is a amazing athlete and a really good player, and it's one of those
He was a
players that
top
will
3
never
MVP
get out of
finisher.
him what we could have if he never got hurt. You know, and it's sad seeing that with him. People like Derrick Rose and stuff like that.
And also wonder what he would play like if he didn't have DeAndre right in front of the rim for his entire career.
That would have
The
helped
way
a
he
great
jumps.
deal.
The way he jumps.
Yeah.
They had some.
But OKC right now is in 7th place in the West.
What's the record?
20-16.
It's
And
7th
they
place.
do.
That's
I
pretty
really
good.
do like what they're doing because they do have some very good young players. They got the dude that signed the shoe deal,
Baisley.
Baisley.
Baisley's got some talent. Ferguson is here and there with it.
I'm sorry.
Diallo. They have some good
Pieces.
talent with
Yeah.
young
Shoe deal.
wings.
Who
But-
signed the shoe deal?
Baisley. Remember he was that intern.
He skipped college.
He
Yeah.
he was the intern at New Balance.
Right.
And then he got drafted this past year.
If you look at their starters, it's
I knew that.
pros. Steven Adams, Gallo, Chris Paul, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's been fantastic.
Shay's dope.
And it just the other spots mostly been Ferguson, but I mean, with guys like Steven Adams is going to play hard every game.
Yes, he is.
Gallo, when he's not hurt, is still a high-level NBA player
Yes.
that is very underrated.
And you wonder how much Billy Donovan's actually getting the coach now.
He's
Yeah.
actually getting to go. Well,
Yeah, because
imagine being a coach like Billy Donovan and you're given Chris Paul.
Right.
When you've had, and I love the man, so
I
this
know
is
you-
hard
I
to
know you
say.
love him.
When you've had Russ, and then you have Chris Paul as a coach, you just have to be like, oh my god,
Yeah, exactly.
I can call plays.
Yeah, and
And you'll execute.
right, and I get
It's
it
an
when you
offense.
got a guy like with Russ's talent. There's gonna be times where he's gonna be like, I'm doing my own thing, coach.
Rogue.
Times.
Bump that play. Those times were actually called every day and all the time.
every day,
But,
but he was in the game.
Two occasions.
All right, so for the people that watch basketball, who's your most surprising team in the league this year? I'll start with Cream.
Sure.
Good job.
I know who mine is.
Miami. I didn't.
Very
I-
good.
I
They're
didn't
good.
think Miami would be.
That's a good one.
That
And
actually
which-
is the one.
Which actually surprises myself because I'm so high on Jimmy Butler. I'm one of the biggest Jimmy Butler stands in the world. But this
Can I
team
ask you a
looks-
question?
But I think it's beyond
If-
Jimmy
if-
Butler with Miami, though.
Yeah, it
I
is.
think just that team in general.
Right.
Plus, they got rid of Whiteside.
Talent
That
wise, that helped.
That
Talent
helps
wise,
a
is
lot.
bigger than Jimmy Butler. But just the attitude he installs in
Yeah.
players, especially like during practice and
Habits.
and players that can
habits.
take it.
Right, players that can take it,
Yeah.
and accountability.
Well, I mean, here, just
he
just
provides
flip-
accountability to
you-
players
you
who never
saying-
who are used to ever having that.
Well, you saying
Yeah.
players that could take it, just flip that right around and think about what they could have had in Minnesota.
If they could have taken it.
What they
If
could
they
have
could have
had
figured
in
that out.
Philly.
Well, he left
No,
Philly,
no,
though.
no.
I think
Philly,
they had that.
Philly,
in
they were trying to.
I-
They like
I
I
understand.
feel because
But
Joel
Embiid
Embiid
did
really
get a
liked
little
it.
scared.
Minnesota.
He said
scared
he,
Embiid.
Embiid
Nah, he
Embiid
scared-
talks
he
about how
scared
much he
Ben.
liked him.
No,
He's
Embiid's
scared
his boy. Embiid's his
yeah,
boy.
yeah.
He scared Ben.
I'm not
scared
sure
Ben.
him and Ben could ever
No.
ever get along.
Him and Ben
But
didn't work. but
Minnesota
Embiid-
wanted him too. They just knew that Karl Anthony Towns and him would never work.
Yeah, okay.
Minnesota
I was
wanted
more
him
worried
to
And
about
Wiggins.
yeah, Wiggins
I
too.
wasn't worried about Wiggins. He would have
and shoot.
washed
What
him.
was,
They
what
didn't
was
need
the
him,
other? What was their guard at the time? Teague. Jeff Teague didn't
I
get
hate
along
Jeff
with him
Teague.
either.
Well,
Well, that's
Jeff
'cause
T can go.
You understand these guys that we're talking about, other than Karl Anthony Towns, that don't get along with them, suck.
Yeah.
Simmons?
We're not doing
Ben
this again.
Simmons
We're
suck.
not doing this again.
What's
We're not.
Wiggins?
We're not
Pull
doing this
up
again.
Wiggins' numbers. My
Wiggins
phone
is
died.
This
terrible.
year?
No,
This
stop.
very year?
See, this is why we tell people to stop looking at the first 10 games of seasons and thinking this is the way it is. The first 10 games that came out hot. Ever since then, he's been the same nothing negative player that he's been his entire career.
Exactly.
Minnesota.
Can you update Green right now?
If
Can you
Wiggins
post
was
Dennis Green?
if Wiggins was a superstar, all-star caliber player with Karl Anthony Towns, who won't be in Minnesota very long. they would not be 15-22. This team with this talent should easily be a playoff team, especially with the 8th seed being 15-20. Minnesota should be a playoff team.
And they thought they were going to get D'Angelo Russell, too, for a small second.
Well, now here's the thing. I think Karl Anthony Towns
will.
might be able to end up in Golden State somehow.
Wow. Oh, no. D'Angelo and Cat are playing together.
They will
at some
play
point.
together soon.
They've already made that clear. And the other player that's kind of floated in there with them has been Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Wow.
And why
Where are they going to play?
And why did
I have no
Orlando?
idea how they're gonna do
and
it.
why did Orlando have orange and gray uniforms tonight?
That was the whole thing. I had issues with
Orange and gray?
Orange.
Yeah.
They've
What?
never had orange in their
it's-
uniforms.
No,
their
but
city editions this year.
but I'm trying to think. What's that have to do with Orlando?
I have
Oranges, Florida.
Florida oranges.
Florida
but still,
oranges.
That's kind of.
Well,
Tropicana.
The color of orange is in every city. If you look at if you look at back to Karl Anthony Towns,
Basketballs are
I
orange?
forget what the actual numbers were.
Every team has
Basketball's
an orange jersey.
But
The president?
his plus minus.
I was gonna say
since
that.
the first 25 games or 15 games, it's he's minus 90 or something like
All
that.
right. I stopped paying attention. I got my
I can't believe you
comeuppance earlier.
started that, to be honest.
Well, I stopped. Like I said, I stopped paying attention. I don't watch enough. I'm not gonna fake like I do. I watch the highlights.
He argued with us about
What happened?
Nothing.
But-
Let's move that. So, like I
but
said,
we-
people that watch basketball, your surprise team is Miami.
Mine is also Miami.
No, you. I said for the people that watch basketball.
I watch
Yeah, you're
enough.
You just said you watch highlights only.
No.
You just said that.
Yeah, but I do watch.
Highlights.
I watch full games too. And
You watch
Bam-
highlights, or you
Bam-
read that magazine highlights
So
you
you
used to see in
watch-
the doctor's
Oh
office?
my god!
So you watch
That's pretty
both
good.
games and highlights only. Both.
Anyway,
Listen, you said it.
listen.
I watched
We're
Love
only
Life.
saying what you said.
Listen.
We'll take screenshots of it later.
No words. I have nothing. There's nothing else.
So
to say.
Miami. And your team
Mi-
too, because Cream said.
No, not at all. Actually, because of Bam Adebayo and of Tyler
Bam
Hero.
Adebayo.
And
It's-
Tyler
oh my
Hero,
Lord.
and they've been playing
But
very
Bam,
well.
seriously?
Someone told you that on the highlight.
Bam
No.
is like the second coming of Draymond this year.
Yeah, except
In better shape.
really athletic.
Oh yeah, way more athletic.
Really,
than
Draymond was never ever confused
Oh
for
no,
athletic.
Draymond plays.
Draymond actually for
Draymond
his
plays on
size,
smarts.
For his size, he's a really special athlete. Because you wouldn't think a guy who's, let's be honest, that dude is like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Oh,
And
and
you-
I think you're. I mean, you might be overstating.
I might be 6'5".
He's 6'5".
And you don't really see people dunk on him, except James Harden last year in the 2 years
Because he
ago in the playoffs.
fouls.
Wow.
No. I mean, his timing.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He
His,
timing,
his,
yeah.
his
He meets you
anticipation,
his anticipation,
his head
timing
for the game
is amazing.
another level.
And I used to, for a long time, I was always a doubter, and I was like, this guy's 6'5". Come on, how is he? There's no way he's playing. He's got to be fouling. And then I remembered to myself, well, my favorite player ever is Charles Barkley. This dude was 6'4", getting 20
6'4",
rebounds. Some guys are just special, and something about his basketball timing IQ is just off the charts, and he made a great career at it.
All right,
So good
Dave,
for him.
most surprising team.
Can I give you 3?
Okay.
Oh, to make up for the 0 that Josh gave us. Yeah.
Okay. So, because one of them is going
These
to
are
be
Josh's other
one of them
three,
is
by
going
the
to
way.
kind of be weird and semi off the map. I'll start with that one. Charlotte. Because
Okay.
they're not
They've been
absolute
playing well.
trash, and with that roster,
You thought they would be.
absolutely should be.
Thought they
Their
would be.
roster
That's true.
is awful.
Yeah.
Name 5 players.
I can
You
name
can.
Josh name 5 players.
No. I can name 5 players who I've heard their name. I don't remember.
But that's the thing. I'll watch.
Oh, okay,
I watched
all right,
2
all right.
Charlotte games, and I actually watched one against Dallas the other day.
PJ.
Really good game.
PJ Washington.
DJ Washington. Shoot. I'm
What's
out.
it called?
It's
Terry
the
Rozier.
Terry Rozier.
Terry Rozier.
Who's
Scary
actually
Terry
playing a
from-
lot better
from
than he thought
Boston.
he would.
Yep. Malik Monk. Yeah, but after that, I start grasping at straws.
Still got
no,
a
Tyler. Tyler. In one of the white boys there.
Jeremy Lamb left, didn't he? I'm sure.
You have
no, like
you
you know,
have
I'm
Lamb's
talking about
still
the,
there?
Not hands,
no,
but talking about one of the Zellers.
one of the Zellers.
Zeller.
Well, you have the twins from
Tyler?
Reno.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
right,
yes,
right.
yes.
But I
yes.
mean, you did look at the players
I mean,
we're
listen to
describing.
who we're saying. Right. Well,
these are not NBA players.
They are not super far from
they're-
500.
I mean, they're not. They're not NBA players. They're not NBA starters.
Yeah.
So that's my number 3 surprise. My number 2 surprise is Indiana. Still without Oladipo.
Yeah.
Still hanging in there. That's a great
Not
coaching.
even
that's
hanging.
another
Not
great
even
coaching
hanging
job.
in there. They're like
like a
top
5 seed,
five.
ain't they?
Yeah.
Something like that.
And
least
my
they were last
My
time I
number
checked.
1 just because my baby boy, he's so far ahead of schedule.
My baby
Dallas and Luka.
boy.
There we go.
My
Luka
baby
is so good.
boy. That's so weird.
He is ahead of
Wait,
schedule.
wait,
The way
wait,
you
wait,
like
wait,
him is
wait, wait.
weird.
None of that, what you just said, sounded anything like it was a surprise to you.
I actually was
I'm
surprised.
surprised at how good he is already. I knew Luka was going to be good, but Luka is this good.
But talking about Dallas, when they didn't have him, they were blowing teams out still. Which that to me is more surprising than.
Well, Porzingis
What-
played a lot better. Actually,
But what
without
I'm
him.
saying before you cut me off is that was more surprising to me than what they've been doing with Luka. But Luka again had another triple double tonight. But the fact that they maintain that's
Well,
and you
listen,
can't even
and in
them
those
you,
awful
you can't
uniforms.
name like great players on their team. Like they have.
Tim Hardaway Jr.
He's not great.
I was being funny. Anyway,
But I mean,
you
he's
should only need
one
to.
of their players.
Then again, you should only need two.
well,
Tell that to the Lakers, the ball bounce.
I'll say this though. Once you start
Sign
instilling,
everybody.
once you start instilling winning, and there's a winning culture, it is easier to win if somebody goes down because we believe in ourselves. We are confident. I'm confident now
That's
that if I get this
true.
ball over here,
That's true,
I can
too.
still hit it. It's still the same spot.
Because you're
It
still
just-
playing the same.
I just didn't get it
Yeah.
from Luka. It's still the same spot.
Plus,
so,
Seth Curry's having a better season than
yes,
his brother.
he is. Well, he's having
he's
a good
having
season.
a
Period. He's
season.
having a season.
His brother isn't.
That's what I'm. Well,
Because he had
that's how it's
25. He had
happening.
25 the other
Let's
night.
not worry about that. Semantics.
Yeah,
He
he's
had-
the best
he-
Curry in the league.
Best Curry on the floor.
That's a Quan joke for sure. He's the best Curry in the league. He's the only Curry.
He must have never had lamb.
But that's my surprise.
right.
Is I loved Luka already, but I did not know that he would be.
You didn't
this
know you'd
good.
fall in love with him like this. I understand.
I can say I'm.
I had KD, but now Luka is the one.
My surprise team, if you guys wanted to know mine,
don't do it.
I didn't say good surprises. My surprise team is the Portland Trailblazers. They
Yeah.
went from the
Wow, that's a good
Western
that's a
Conference
surprise, too.
Finals to
Whoa.
getting Whiteside,
Well, that was the move.
and they got
And
Whiteside.
that's might be why I'm not.
They got
as
Whiteside.
surprised. Because they got
Whiteside.
because they got Whiteside.
And they're just not good. And at the same time, that 8th spot being so bad is actually good for a lot of teams that are playing bad right now because there's
You can
most of
right
those,
the ship.
most of those teams are a game out of the 8th spot besides Golden State.
I-
So they could still make
Golden
the playoffs.
State don't want to win.
what
this year.
hurts to me
No,
about
exactly.
what hurts to me about that situation with Portland is they were playing terrible. Then they brought in Melo, and Melo is he's playing great.
Melo is playing.
But then what's going to end up happening is they're going to be an 8 seed in the first round, and they're going to get the doors blown off them.
Yes.
And they're going to and
Anthony Davis is going to
and-
average
and
45.
Melo is such an easy target that they're really
Don't
going to
blame
try
him.
and
He's
make
gonna
that
get blamed on
more
him.
of the story than. Sorry, this is Dame and CJ's team to lift up.
And the way he's played, he deserves another year after this.
Yeah, he deserves
Absolutely.
another contract. Yeah,
He's been balling.
and not just that, but these are the things that whatever Miami fans have been talking about for a long time at Whiteside. Sure, he's good at putting up numbers, but the way he plays. Never
I hate
works.
watching him.
Cannot stand watching.
You
him.
haven't. You've
I
never
way
been a
he
I've
Whiteside.
played with guys like that, and I hate playing with guys
Yeah,
like that.
because-
You know, like, okay, you're talented,
He's
but who
empty
cares,
calories.
bro?
That's
Right,
all he
exactly
is.
what he is. He can never
Empty
he can never
calories.
fit into
Real
a
talk,
framework
yeah.
of anything because he always feels like
You're
give
lettuce.
just give me the ball on the block. It's not. You're not good enough for me to give you the ball on the block every single time.
Or anytime.
Or and also get out of the way. My
Well,
name's Dame Lillard.
and-
Get out of the way.
And also,
I don't
if,
need you here.
if you're playing anybody that's good with size, he gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Like Joel Embiid ruined his life.
Oh, yeah.
He did. I
he
didn't say that.
he made it a mission
Yeah.
to ruin that young man's
Which
life.
I like. I like when people do that.
Oh, I love it.
Listen,
It's my
if
favorite.
you're overhyped and I know I'm way better than you, take care of business.
Did any of you guys watch the it's like a, I'm not sure, it's on the ESPN app, where they basically were talking, it might have actually even aired on ESPN, I haven't watched, but they were basically just talking about the rise and fall of big men in the league, and they interviewed
have not, but I would like to
they
see
interviewed Shaq, they were talking about basically how big men have changed and how that really started with Dirk and with who else was it? It was
I
Dirk
think it's
and
more
someone else.
AAU.
Well, no, and it basically, and Shaq was, and they were kind of saying like how some people were saying Shaq in today's game couldn't exist or he wouldn't be able to adapt.
That's so dumb.
And then Shaq was like, I would kill every person in this league right now.
Listen,
about
Shaq would dominate more now than he
Yeah.
did
Way
back then.
Covers
more.
him.
Way more.
It's not even. It wouldn't be fair.
You would just go Shaq and shooters. That's it.
Here's the thing, man.
it's true.
People think that analytics is all about 3-pointers, and no, it's not. Analytics is about layups
Well-
and 3-pointers
well,
and
no,
free throws.
no, basically-
every time Shaq got the ball would be a layup.
Well,
And
actually, no.
easy
What
to
they,
lay
they,
down. Be a
they
dunk
mentioned
every time.
they mentioned the analytics in there, and what they were saying was the kind of the thing that started moving the game out and out was the analytics saying that the post up shot from a big man was the most inefficient shot in the game.
Because there weren't enough people that knew how to post
And
up
that,
anymore.
and that when I heard that,
Who's
I was just
teaching
like,
them?
that is so just as a coach, that is so infuriating because you know what I mean. Like I don't know, we were always taught inside outside. Like you're gonna get your threes, and if I'm able to be dominant here and hold my position and force someone else to respond to me and my action, I can pass.
Correct.
And now you can get shots.
But Josh, how many people are still out there? Who's teaching
I think
the young
that's-
players to
I
post
know.
up?
I think
I
that's
know.
part of the problem. I think part of the problem, and some of that's on us.
Yeah.
Some of that's on us that we had players that we tried to fit into a square peg.
Box, yeah.
Yeah, well, Dwight Howard was never going to be a low post guy, but
No.
we always bashed him for it. And that's what made it such an inefficient shot because there are guys like him who we try to turn into post players, and he's shooting these shots. And have you seen his the guy has no touch.
yeah.
He shoots every shot like Josh Allen.
Over the rim.
But at
That
the
felt
same
uncomfortable.
time, at the same time, I don't think the big man is gone. I think it's
Not at all.
It's gonna come back.
It's evolved.
It will definitely be evolved, but I don't think we're just gonna see like the 7-footer shooting threes all the time either. The way it has been for a couple years, I think it will evolve. Like Dave said, you do have to teach that.
Yeah.
But Lakers right now have 3 big guys, and they're dominating on the defensive end. 20 blocks last night.
That's insane.
Anthony Davis, I think, had 8 blocks.
That is
Dwight Howard had
insane.
7. JaVale McGee had 5.
That is insane.
I mean,
You know,
that's wild right now.
What do you get up about 80 shots a game in basketball? You get up about 80 shots a game. Imagine 20 of them got blocked,
That's
which
crazy.
means they probably affected another 30 of them. You know what I mean?
Legit,
You know what I
legit,
mean?
'cause
you change
now
the whole
I'm
game
nervous.
plan.
Like,
You had 30 shots to make a difference in the game when the team
wow,
does that.
that's crazy.
It's crazy.
That is
No,
crazy.
getting blocked is awful.
Trust me, that math works out. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But you can
I
see
was-
like
I was with
Anthony,
you. I was
Anthony
with you.
Davis
No
is over
flaw.
there trying to shoot threes, which you can make some. He's been shooting too much. But when they're just ooping him the ball, I mean, he's dominating under there.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like the analytics community was more against the actual post up than they were shots from that post
That
area.
area.
Right. And to a certain extent they had a point, but they kind of have a point. But that's
But you
because,
still have to double team Shaq.
But
you
if
know,
you're,
you know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah.
if you, right, but if you're elite,
And now you got weaker dudes in the middle, so
Exactly.
Shaq's gonna back both of you guys
Even
now.
more.
and
yeah.
if you're elite at it, like you can't tell me that Joel Embiid posting up is an
is a
inefficient
bad
shot.
shot.
It's never. It's just
That's a good look.
But it's
He has a
when
coach that lets him
it's when
shoot.
JaVale McGee tries to be Joel Embiid. You're
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
a bad
Exactly.
shot.
Yeah. Look, inefficiency isn't the same for everybody.
Right. And
Your
that's,
inefficient shot might be my gold mine.
and that's
so-
the problem with analytics to begin with. Analytics feels like you can win games because of math, and that's
Yeah.
just not the way it is. They don't want to marry. There's a way of marrying the old school way of thinking with the new school way of thinking. Because
Yes.
don't get me wrong, analytics is a really important thing.
Yeah.
It's the study of what's already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you can try, but they try to predict the future instead of trying
Based
to
on what
use it
happened
in
already.
the present to affect
Yeah.
the future. And people just get to a point where they think that you can win games in any sport on a calculator.
True.
And that's
Well,
not
your
the
team-
human,
your
the
team
human
is-
element.
One of
Huge
the
on it.
utmost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on it.
exactly.
I mean,
and
my-
that's the thing. Well, what did I say when we were bringing in Westbrook? That's fine. You can look at all the numbers you want, but at the same time, you have to look at how it affects everybody else.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
Harden's having
100%.
such a good year so far that it hasn't really
It does
come
not.
up. But the way he was playing when Chris Paul was there, and when he's, I know you guys don't want to believe this, but actually playing defense, what I was afraid of is, okay, well now his best friend's there and he's going to take even more dumb shots, and why would he care about getting in someone's face who's his best friend and saying, hey, you're messing up?
That's
Because
a
you know
bad shot.
his best friend's not doing that to him. Analytically, that looks great because they're shooting all these threes.
Yeah.
But you have a guy who's not a great 3-point shooter and somebody
Or
who's
shooter.
And
yeah.
well, and my thing, one of
Sorry,
my
Russ.
biggest issues with analytics are it doesn't talk about what a bad shot is. Like that 3, I didn't need that 3.
There isn't one in analytics.
Exactly.
And
Like
that's what sucks.
that 3 right there, that early shot in the shot clock 3, that was a horrible shot. And you can't tell me anything different because that shot now, like, look, half the team was back. Now they're going back on us. Like, there's a lot of like,
course.
there's still a lot of basketball IQ things that are still like, no, that's still a bad
Right.
shot.
And of course, and it doesn't take into account the human element again, because if I'm on your team, you take that shot. Now I'm like, I'm not running back on defense.
Exactly.
And now they just got a layup. So,
That's a 5-point
analytics
swing.
says
It's a 5-point swing.
analytics says, well, he got a layup. It's a great shot. It's not talking about the fact that, well, he shot that terrible 3
That led to
which led
to
to
a
it.
butt-naked layup or a medium break.
But now the points per minute are up,
Yeah.
and it makes analytics look better.
Yeah, it's. I mean, those are some of my problems with it. Where it's like I understand it, and like you said, there should be something where you at least are willing to accept it or talk about it. But some things still, basketball is basketball.
But you find
Turn around, Green.
the best of teams have found a way to mix. Why would you? You know, they find a way to mix the increased outside shooting, but with extra actions.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Going on.
there are a lot of light-skinned players.
Oh gosh. All right, we're gonna end the
I'll shut
show
out
with
now.
our with
that
our.
wasn't one of them.
I'm glad you turned around at the perfect time.
That was really good. I didn't know what was happening too.
I
I'm
just
sorry. I
saw
would
Joel
have told you.
Embiid's finger. Woof.
I would have told you.
But he played the whole game, but he might miss time because of it. Because it's Joel Embiid.
Let him miss time, man. Keep the man healthy.
But right now, Philly is 5th place, 24-14, half a game ahead of Indiana for 6th.
24 and 14, and that's 5th place.
Yeah.
What's the? Okay.
So we
go
got
ahead.
Milwaukee
Yeah.
32-6, Boston 25-9, Miami right behind them at 26-10.
Miami's lost once at home.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they've been
Toronto
playing well.
24-12. Another surprising
That's a
team. People-
quiet surprise.
Pascal Siakam.
Liz.
Surprise.
Pascal Siakam might win Most Improved Player twice, 2
Twice.
years in a row.
And that just goes to show how much Popovich let his ego get in the way of things, because they didn't get anything for Kawhi. They got DeRozan, yeah, but I'm saying
DeMar
like,
DeRozan sucks.
DeRozan's horrible
for
now.
Kawhi to
Yeah.
get a guy like Kawhi, they should have gotten more. And now the team's still good because they didn't have to give up too much to get Kawhi. They've lost Kawhi, which is a big deal, but they learned how to play without him for 30 games last
would
year.
a Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball package plus, would that have been better?
Talking about for Kawhi way back
'cause,
when.
I mean, that's what.
Yeah, but he let
Lakers were
his
trying to-
ego
in
get in the way.
hindsight, in hindsight, but
Because
remember
he didn't,
Brandon
he,
Ingram.
he didn't want to trade to the
to the West. That's right. And
Well, he
and
specifically didn't want to trade to the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, he
and
specifically-
in all,
But
in-
Ingram could be all. I mean, I could see him in 5 All-Star
yeah,
games.
no,
easily.
no. But
Ingram's fantastic.
in all fairness, though, that wasn't pride. That was also being smart about not putting him directly in my line of vision.
But knowing that
You know what I mean?
now he
Kind
is
of.
again because a year later.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
That's
he is
true,
again, but that's cool. I
you
don't have
could
to
avoid
let
that
I don't
for a
have to
year.
do
Yeah, I
it.
didn't have to do that. I guess if you're looking at it like I didn't.
I
put him
would have
there.
liked more than DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan coming back sounds good. He's a multiple-time All-Star.
Empty
DeMar
calories
DeRozan ain't
again.
that good.
Empty
But it's
calories
also-
again.
But that goes with the Celtics too. The Celtics could have gave up more than that to get Kawhi, but they had all their eggs in
Davis.
the Anthony Davis
Yeah.
basket.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, if
That was never happening.
If that team last year had Kawhi instead of Jaylen Brown,
Ooh. Oh gosh.
Well, who else? Because you got to keep
I mean,
going
you-
outside.
I mean,
of
give
Jaylen Brown.
Do you though?
him Tatum.
give
him Tatum,
give him
too.
Tatum. If they had
I would
Tatum
easily give up
and
Brown and
Kyrie
Tatum.
still,
Now, what happened to the
And
Brandon Ingram
Horford?
and Tatum arguments that were going around last year and the year before?
no.
They-
It was Kyle Kuzma.
Kyle Kuzma and Tatum.
There was-
and
weird.
Tatum is
There was
still
a lot
definitely
of,
better.
There was a lot of Ingram ones
sorry,
too.
you mean arguments just in terms
There was a lot of
who's
Ingram
better.
ones,
Oh, I never heard an
understand.
Ingram one. I
Oh,
always
yeah.
heard Tatum and Kuzma, and Tatum is still better than Kuzma.
Well,
And
Kuzma's been
will
hurt all
continue
year.
to be better.
Right, but again,
Plus, Kuzma looks like an idiot. Somebody help that boy.
again,
Come on, leave Pharrell alone.
I don't know that he does he. Listen, he is living the LA
You
life.
have relations
He
with one
kidnapped-
owner, and you think you could just do anything now.
He looks like he has relations
you
with
kidnap
a lot
one
more.
Gentile, and you think you can just walk around however you want.
All right, the Western Conference Lakers 29-7. So wait, Lakers leading the Pacific, Niners leading, and Golden Knights. Okay.
Oh my god, you are awful to deal with.
Oh, trust me, I
Oh my god,
dealt with horrible for way too long, and
I
so
like
I
it.
will
you you didn't deal with horrible for way too
Are
long.
you serious?
Oh,
The
I'm
better
sorry.
part of the
for the
10s.
Lakers?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. For part of one decade, which, by the way, they won a title at the beginning of the decade. Oh, my God. I feel so terrible for you. Shut up. You're killing me.
49ers haven't won a Super Bowl. They won their 5th in 94, and they haven't even been to a Super Bowl since 13.
Oh, gosh. That was still also this decade.
But they did. The wheels came
rough.
off that bus pretty quick right off it.
It was rough.
That is true.
Oh, well, they went to the NFC Championship the next year.
Boo. Who?
Then what was it? The year after that? That basically
That's what the
everything
next
started-
year means.
No, I said the year after that.
It's
2014.
Is what?
Dude, that's
Is
all.
what?
That's all well and good.
Did you guys
when
start?
the, hey,
You
when
guys
the
started
Bills
having like
last
3
won
and
a
4 wins
playoff
right
game,
after that, right?
We won 8.
the
When
Bills
I
last
heard
playoff,
that-
the Bills last playoff win could rent a car.
When I heard that, I
But
did not
buy
realize.
cigarettes.
No, but could buy a cigarette because it's 25 years ago.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I thought there had to be like a year somewhere that they.
Well, no, there
Music
was
City-
one stolen.
Music
Hold
City.
on. You mean that travesty where that was absolutely a forward pass? Yeah, when it was stolen from them? Yeah, I agree with that. Which, by the way, was also
leave-
partially
you
their
leave-
fault 'cause
Alright,
they
back-
started Rob Johnson,
back to the
and that
NBA.
was wrong.
You
Back to
leave
the
white
NBA.
check out of
Rob
this.
Johnson.
Back to the NBA. The Los Angeles Lakers of LA are 29-7. Denver Nuggets 25-11. Joker had a huge game tonight.
Michael Porter Jr. I said
Hey.
that a
He's
long time
playing.
I
ago.
said that
He's
from the
playing.
beginning. This is what
And
I
was
didn't
like,
believe,
when
but
people,
at the same time, I also don't believe that he's going to stay healthy. I hope he does,
right.
but I don't.
I don't
Okay,
wanna
I'm not
think
going to say not believe. I don't trust that.
fair. I
You
mean,
know.
it's still early enough in a career, and especially when it's back and
Yeah.
back surgery.
And Zion is supposed to be 5-on-5 tomorrow.
He just doesn't look good.
My thing with Zion now that you're at this point in the season,
Sit him out.
because where your record's at, sit him out.
No.
Be full
Well,
healthy.
no.
I love Zion.
Okay,
Sit him
no.
out.
wait. Let's talk about.
Go
hold
ahead.
on.
Go ahead.
San Antonio, 8th seed, 15-20. New Orleans, 12-25. They could make the playoffs.
It's possible.
A lot of these 25 wins are like 1-point losses.
You mean 25 losses?
25 losses or
yeah.
1-point
They
losses.
have played a lot of close games.
They've had a
gotten
lot of
boat raced
close
a couple
games.
times.
Yeah,
But
they have.
Tonight, Brandon Ingram got fouled hard by Gobert. They didn't call it. That would have tied the game up.
Yeah.
So
That's not even my thing. My thing about it is I'm not sitting there and watching the next 20 games that they have them scheduled for on primetime television with no Zion.
oh, they've already started shifting some of those.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but
it's
what's
time to
it-
play.
if he can come back, then if he's going to be
a
healthy
basketball
enough,
player.
you bring him
if
back.
he's not healthy enough now, he's not going to be for the rest of his career.
But
You're not saving him for anything.
But we saw that with Ben Simmons, and that probably helped him. It
Joel
definitely
Embiid,
How
helped
did
him.
it help Ben Simmons?
Joel Embiid.
I hate Ben
That
Simmons.
was-
Okay,
that-
well, it helped him.
Joel Embiid.
I didn't
though.
finish my
Joel
sentence. It
Embiid.
helped him get the Rookie of the Year because if he would have came back halfway through the first season,
Blake-
he wouldn't have got Rookie of the
Blake
Year.
Griffin stole it from John Wall.
You mean Donovan Mitchell, Rookie of the Year? Anyway, here's the
Indeed.
thing. Here's the difference. The difference is well, first of all, Embiid, yeah, he was really hurt. Ben Simmons wasn't hurt. They wanted to tank again.
No, he was ready by January.
He was of the year before. Ben Simmons wasn't hurt.
Well,
they
he
were
got-
like,
he
they were
definitely
like,
got
ooh,
hurt.
you got to sprain something.
You know what's
Yeah,
crazy
sit
is
out the
through that
rest of the
whole
year.
stretch, never once worked on a jump shot.
And he had a sprained GPA in LSU.
And
He
that's-
went to class?
That's another thing that's
Yeah, the
funny.
incomplete.
Yeah.
That's another thing that's funny with this whole Ben Simmons thing is people are like now, because you know how it goes. There's the whole he won't shoot thing, and now the whole rush to defend him, say, well, he's so good at everything else, and blah blah blah.
Nope.
Why can't they just? He is really good at everything else. He's a great defensive player.
When he feels like it.
When he always feels like it. He's a great.
I don't know about always feels like it.
Ben Simmons is a great lockdown defensive player.
Can be.
No, he can be because he is every single time. He can be.
Not every single time.
Not Marcus, but yes, he can be, and that's why he does it. Anyway, but I feel I feel,
Not Marcus.
It's just weird,
but
that,
he can be.
Say it there. It's just weird to me though that people would much rather talk about, hey, he could do all these other things instead of asking a pro basketball player to shoot a 15-footer every now and then. No one's asking him to be like to be Mr.
You don't have
Captain
to shoot.
Swish.
You don't have to shoot threes. Just
Can you do 4 a week?
no.
Can you do 4
I'm
15
not
footers a
asking you to
week?
be J.J. Redick. At least be better than J.J. Walker.
Right. I'm
Or
asking
J.J.
you,
Watt.
or J.J.
Dynamite.
Watt, but with one peck. Can you shoot 4.
JJ Watt with 1 peck.
In a
JJ Watt with
week.
1 peck would probably shoot more than Simmons does.
Going back to the Pelicans, if Zion's healthy, if he practices good the next
Then
week
play
or
him.
two, then he comes back. You still have more than half the season left.
No, I hear you.
And they can make the playoffs. If they were totally out, that like I'm saying, that 8th seed right now being as bad as it is, is doing a lot for that bottom part.
I think
the Western
I
Conference.
think him playing, even though to Kareem's point, he may not be right ever. And I said I'm glad he got his money. I'm glad he got his shoe deal. So he's gonna be fine regardless. I think him playing, if they can actually make the playoffs, that doesn't hurt. To Dave's point, this isn't a great draft, and they have enough pieces on the team. Sometimes you do need to win with what you have because the GM will start to pull that thing
this
apart.
is the type of team you need to just keep
building.
You need to keep this team together because it could be a good team.
Yeah.
Plus, a healthy Zion
Changes
makes this
everything.
team make so much more sense.
Yeah. Definitely.
You notice how not one time yet have we even discussed, but what if Alonzo stays healthy? We're off that train. He's just not going to.
He's just never
he's
healthy.
just-
Which he has had some really good games.
He's had some
when
really
he
good
has
games.
played,
Yeah,
but
Zion's also going to unlock some of his capabilities.
You're right.
but for how long?
He's going to get 5 more assists a game
I
when he
think at
plays.
this point we can see that Lonzo can play.
Yeah, no, Lonzo.
I
he
also
can't
think
stay
at
healthy.
this point we see that Lonzo can play for 2 weeks at a time.
And I think that has to be mental.
You know what? I honestly
It has to be.
listen.
You have to play through some of these injuries.
No, but listen, shoes. People don't act like shoes are a big deal.
He does not wear his own shoes.
No. Listen,
He's never worn his own shoes.
Listen. When he was in those air bricks of Zo2s that he had,
He barely wore those.
He wore them in every game when he was a Laker.
He switched them at halftime every game.
He had to.
But he switched to another pair of
No,
Air
he did not.
Ducks.
He was wearing Nikes.
Nah, he wore Kobe's a couple times.
He wore different
He
shoes
wore
all the
some
time. Trust
Durant's
me.
a couple times.
Even still, to play in an NBA game and to play hard in those shoes,
Yeah,
when that is
definitely.
your footwear and that is your equipment, you have to understand a lot of his injuries most of the time have been to his lower extremities. They've all been ankle.
But
they've
this
been
year he hasn't
knees.
touched them because he left.
No, but the damage is still is
Damage is
cumulative. That's real damage. That's
Yeah.
not
Do you
fake.
Do you
know what I'm
think that
saying?
those
Once
prodigies
are-
ever hurt Al Harrington?
See what I'm saying? Because all right, I'll
Yeah.
put it to you this way.
That's for you, Craig.
Jerome has talked about it to me before. Like when he went to Reebok from Nike, Reebok wasn't as good of a product, but it was still decent. But he started having a lot of quiet injuries.
Yeah.
Some of the strength and conditioning coaches on the team, they used to do a lot of tests with shoes, and a lot of it was based off of what the shoe does. Like I still to this day, when I pick up new shoes, I'll bend them together, and if they do this, if the whole shoe can touch each other, your foot isn't supposed to do that. It's not what your foot is meant to do. The shoe is meant to it's meant to bow, but it's not meant to buckle
Grant
over.
Hill. Grant Hill's the perfect example.
Fila,
And not just that.
ankle.
There's also a reason why there's not a lot of 6'7" point guards running around. The grind of being a point guard is a little different than it is for other players. And having the responsibility of being an actual point guard, being 6'7", I mean, I'm just saying
He is a different point guard,
he's
though.
different, right? I mean, listen, Penny had lower extremity injuries,
and he was in Nikes.
right? I mean, and we're talking about, and there's also differences. Penny and Lonzo are athletic guys. Magic Johnson never really jumped to more than 4 inches. So saying that the strain on his knees were different than it would be on these guys who are literally catching alley oops. Like Lonzo, still sometimes I marvel at it. Someone will throw him an alley oop and he with ease. Because he's an athletic guy, and as we've talked about before, it's not the jump, it's the landing.
Yep.
Yeah, he's played 28 out of 37 games, I believe.
Which
That's all he's missed. I
isn't
feel like
great.
he's missed more than that.
Well,
But that's
it's
'cause we're
because
grading on a curve.
Not even that. It's because he'll play 2 games and miss 2 games and play a game, miss 3 games.
You constantly are always like he's not playing. Then he ends up playing.
And that's why I feel like these injuries are mental because you're not getting injured and you're out for a month. So that's why I think you have to play through some of these. Like you just have to suck it up and be
a
an
professional
NBA player and play through some injuries.
It's also sometimes sneak load management, too. Sometimes he's not really hurt.
But you ain't load managing when you got 12 wins.
Well, at the same time, if you think Zion's coming back and you think like you're going to be a lot better once we have him, then maybe you
Because
are.
he will. Because
Isn't his 4th season? third or fourth?
This is 4th year.
Fourth year.
Yeah.
That's load management stuff.
Lonzo?
No.
This is third.
Is it
Third year?
third? It's third
Yeah,
year.
third year.
Because he played
It's
2.
Ingram's
He
This is
played
Ingram's fourth.
Ingram's.
But what are you still saving him for if it's load management? It's third year.
And this isn't San Antonio, and he is not Kawhi.
Load management.
Kawhi was getting that load management as a young guy just because Pop was like, I know when I'm going to need
The
you.
load management's for two type of teams. Ones that know they're going to be in the playoffs and ones that know they're 100% won't be in the playoffs.
But
And
listen,
they're
if
tanking.
he
I agree.
can get healthy and stay healthy,
They
he's
can
going to
be
be
in the
good. Right now, he's 28 minutes a game, 11.8 points, 5 rebounds, 5.4 assists.
And
Like
shooting
Dave
better.
said, if Zion comes back,
That's
he's
at
getting
least
at least 3 more
At least
assists. a
3
game.
more.
And he's shooting better.
Shooting
Yeah,
better.
shooting
he
better.
good shots.
recently.
It's also just his type of anticipation game and Zion's overall basketball IQ mixed with that athleticism. Him and Zion together they're gonna put on a show. And with the way that Ingram has progressed,
Ingram, 25 points
Zion
a game,
just
7 rebounds.
Zion unlocks that team in ways that no one else will be able to.
Yeah.
I just
So
hope he can stay
that's why I
healthy.
want to see
Stop
him
it,
come
Josh.
I just hope he
Stop
can
it.
stay healthy.
back. He'll be healthy.
Stop it.
I'm not
He'll be
putting
Stop
anything
it.
out there on him.
You clearly have enough times. Stop it.
I told you
Josh
from the
didn't make him
beginning.
320.
Hey, I told you from
It's
the
not
beginning
Josh's fault.
that boy. Look,
Josh
look,
didn't make Booger McFarland his dad.
Wow. Welcome to Unnamed Sports Show, live every Monday, 8:30 to midnight on Gorilla Cross
Evidently.
Radio.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, save me now.
It's 11:09. We got to go.
Yeah.
I need food too.
Me too. And I got to work. So there's
Oh man, NFL picks on Thursday. Dave,
Oh.
you're gonna have to call in for that.
Can't just make mine now.
Nope. All right.
Or you can come in, Dave.
No, I cannot.
Listen, download the Gorilla Cross app. Make sure you follow us. Check out GorillaCross.com. And everything's on the app as well. So anything we put up there will be on the app. So make sure you check it out. Check out Let the Ball Bounce tomorrow, 6 p.m. West Coast time. Girl Chat Sports, 6 p.m. Wednesday, West Coast time. And we will be back
Hold
on
on,
Unnamed
maybe you
Sports
throw
Show.
out a little Vegas hype shout out. High
And we
spirits,
would-
low standards, 8 o'clock tomorrow night.
We don't.
Yeah, that's for Dave.
No, Gorilla Cross.
I didn't say it was on there.
Okay. No, I know that, but.
We know it's on Vegas Hype.
Okay, Christian hip hop fans, go to VegasHypeMedia.com and watch this ratchet
Dave
show.
Dave get loose.
Ratchet. How dare you?
Watch Dave get loose.
But tomorrow will be. Dave has another podcast that he does.
Dave Uncensored.
That he's really excited about because he promotes it all week and doesn't say anything about Unnamed Sports Show during the
High
week.
spirits, low standards.
And Bones will be
Allegedly.
there. So
Yeah, you know.
I might even make a showing tomorrow.
better show
Thinking
up.
about
Come
it.
through.
Thinking about it.
Josh, come through. Come to the bar podcast tomorrow.
No.
That's the support you look for from your friends.